Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the grandest evening that you'll ever have in this great, fantastic channel of teamfortress.tv. It is I, TurboTabs. I will be holding your hand throughout all of this wonderful journey, but don't worry, you've got a spare one because we've got a long line of hand holders here. We've got a huge array of casters and analysts and production members. Let's go through them all one by one before we get into the meat and grind of who these teams are we're casting tonight. Anyway, obviously you know who I am, TurboTabs. We are also joined in by our fellow panelist, Beta. How are we doing, Beta?
I'm doing good. This is the big one, Turbo. This is the two giants of European Team Fortress 2. They're about to duke it out. This is going to just decide all the storylines coming forward for such a long time. So I'm hyped.
Yep, it is truly a Goliath versus Goliath. But we've got a few Davids back there with their little mica casts on. And we'll say hello to Lucky and Bum. Lucky and Bum, are you back there? Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
All right, boys, that's all I want from you. Get out of the room, get out of here. Okay, yeah,
Wow.
bye-bye. Yeah, because this is the panel section. This is the bit, Beta, that we get to shine in and show off and actually talk for a change. Those are your two casters. You'll hear them at 95% of the time you'll hear them, but you're going to hear our voices for a little bit. But you will be joined with JMaxchill at all times, as he's going to be doing our production. He's going to be pressing all the buttons and whatnot. All right. Let's get past it. Let's get past our own narcissistic selves and talk about these two teams, Beta. It is the grand final after all. It is the bit on YouTube that everybody skips to the end to, and it's the two teams we kind of expected them all to be here in this season 42 of ETF2L. It's Witness Gaming EU versus TF2Easy. Could it have been any other teams here, Beta?
It kind of feels like it couldn't have. And there was a bit of wavering throughout the season, but going into it, it looked like we had a clear two favorites, and that's pretty much exactly what happened. So it hasn't been like a straight road, but it was still a pretty obvious one nonetheless. Like there wasn't a whole lot of bushes obscuring things. So I'm thinking maybe we just go through the rosters before we do anything else, because these two rosters have been pretty consistent, but not entirely since last season, and some of these things are going to come into play. So is there a team that you want to go through the roster of?
Ooh, I don't know. These two teams, they've been switching and swatching so many ties between each other. It's practically incestuous. So let's go. I'm going to go with a Pappy flavored team version, Witness Gaming EU. So over on that team, we've got Mula on Medic. We have Domo on Demoman. Pappy's going to be playing that pocket soldier. Solentes is on the roaming soldier here. Oh, switcheroo. Tomas is always going to be on that Witness Gaming EU roster. And we've got some Pasta Master here, Ixie, on that scout as well.
Yeah, it's Ixie's first stint on like a real top team. So I'm pretty excited to see how he does. You know, when the pressure is at its highest, the bright lights are just shining down on him. And he's always been like the most iffy player on that team from my perspective. So very excited to see that. And then of course Solentes played on TF2Easy last season when they won. So it's going to be very exciting to see, was he just the carrying force? He kind of took up the Joss role here. But let's go over to TF2Easy and see what their team is before we talk about anything else, because this is a team that's basically unchanged, at least the very core of it. So you have Morale, Kunu, Koff, whatever you want to call him, on the pocket scout. Basically the most just consistent scout in European TF2. Then you have Gassy, which is a scout, the combo, or a roaming scout, but they're going to combo up a bunch. And you have Nobby, it's going to be on the roamer. Absolutely insane. It's been very exciting to see how he's been performing after the Market Garden got banned, but he's been very good. I looked through some scrim logs, and he's just been absolutely fragging out. Josh is back. He's on pocket and main caller, one of the best callers in Europe. But is he going to be a bit rusty maybe? He hasn't been back for that long. He took a pretty serious break after season, I think 38, or maybe it was 39. But he's been absent for a small bit. Then you got Nazboy on Demo Man, just going to shake his mouse about and still hit everything. It's pretty crazy. And then you have Seeds on Medic, probably one of the most notorious medics in European Team Fortress 2, and probably one of the best in the world, in my opinion. Very kind of passive medic, survives a lot, never dies, great mechanics, great movement, and might be there to kind of rein in Joss's aggressive playstyle. They haven't been that aggressive this season, TF2.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird when it comes to these two teams and researching and like checking all the backgrounds and seeing how these team play, because they are so much ahead of the pack in compared to all these other teams, in my opinion. But when you have to like look at the differences and the fact that these two teams have played against each other back in week one, and it did go Witness Gaming's EU's way now, could you actually feel any sort of growth between all these players when you were watching the season beta, or is it just too hard to tell because they're just playing against obviously some different caliber of teams beyond underneath them?
Like you can definitely feel that tf2easy got better. They kind of stumbled out of the gate immediately, kind of in the usual fashion. They tend to start out slow and not take it too seriously. At least that's how it looks early on, and then they just slowly power up. And then, they're going to deliver the Hadouken at the end of the season. So we've seen this kind of pattern before. That's kind of how they won their first season of Prem, where they just all of a sudden demolished everything after being kind of shaky throughout the entire season. So time will tell or show if we're going to see that again or if the pattern has been broken. Because I looked through the previous Prem seasons, and basically the way I can very easily sum it up is that tf2easy has won the last many seasons, unless they're not there, in which case Witness is there to pick up the slack and take the final win. And and obviously they had the battle last season where tf2easy came out on top, but they had Celentis instead, and then Celentis went over to Witness Gaming. So it complicates everything.
Yeah, that is probably the biggest question mark factor as well. And like Celentus's performance, not even like impact on a team, but like his performance in that grand final previous was, in my opinion, like the deciding factor in that grand final now. So if you can't beat him, well, not join him, but make him join your team. So do you think that is the tide turner for Witness Gaming to kind of secure this out here, or is that Josh Magic just too powerful?
I don't know. Like, Josh has always had this thing where, like, he's not necessarily the flashiest soldier or like the highest DPM soldier or, the guy that never dies. Like he's pretty aggressive and he doesn't show things in his stats. It's more like the little things that he does and the calling that he provides for his team that really makes him so good. So it's very difficult to tell if he's like at full power, because you can't necessarily tell. Like he just has like a combo scout and a devil man who will happily just frag away off of his calls, calls and damage and everything that he provides. So I can't quite tell, but like this is basically Poppy versus Josh. It's the two best main callers in Prem, and they're obviously heading for the two best teams. So this is very exciting for me, and just gonna see how they decide to play in different situations. You might get a bit of an insight into how these guys play and think about the game.
Yeah, it is slowly turning into the El Clasico for me for between these two teams as well. And I think we're going to be seeing both of these two teams at LAN, and this is always like a good mark or a good power ranking for going into LAN. So I feel like these two teams kind of want to give it all. It's not always the end all be all. You do have some LAN burners going off later in August, but yeah, I just want to see this battle of minds. But we also have some kind of question marks, some unknown factors, at least in the grand final setting, because keep in mind, Beta, grand finals, this is when those 1% start kicking in out of those 99 percentile stats that you see throughout the season and those leagues and whatnot. This is where the unusual really happens, and that's not supposed to link up with the stats or whatever, because they are the cream of the crop. Now, is there anybody in your eyes that you want to call out and be like, oh, I'm not sure about this guy. Has he felt the pressure like this?
I'm going to call out Ixie again. Like, he's been the player, whenever I've been watching matches so far this season, that has been the least impressive on Witness Gaming. He's just, like, it doesn't seem like he hurts quite as much as a lot of other people, and sometimes I've had some decision making that I didn't quite agree with when I watched him. So that's almost certainly the one that I'm going to look out for. And then maybe, I don't know, probably Josh as well, see if he's rusty. He did take a pretty serious break. Some guys are pretty fast to come back into it, while other players take a lot of time to really get going again. And I'm not sure which category Josh falls into, but it's definitely something to look out for. From what I could see in the logs, Josh is doing fine. So, yeah, it's just I don't have anything specific to base it off of. It's just like a feeling.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. But sometimes, you've got that experienced feeling. Speaking of these experienced feelings, we have a best of 5, so you're going to be feeling a lot here, Beta, throughout all this. I've packed some sandwiches, packed some drinks and all that, because we're going to here for a long time. Maybe that's why they even brought us in as panelists, give these podcasters a break. But they will be earning a pretty penny for their marathon race. It will be the first prize. We'll get €600 from ETF2L. I'm not even sure if we're sponsored. Someone just must be coughing up pennies back there. But second place, we'll get like a little bit of just antidote for the wounds, as you have €360 going to the second place team. So not too bad after all. But it's all about that glory at the end of the day. But let's get to these bands, picks and bans for these maps. As it's best of 5, this is when usually these picks and bans have its most influence, is just obviously between all these choices and bans. I'm just going to quickly put my reading glasses on here and go, all right, so the two teams, but out of the two teams, obviously Witness Gaming got to choose whether or not they're Team A or Team B. There's all sorts of little advantages. I'm not going to get into it right now of which order you pick in, but let's just, for this, they picked second. So it would be TF2Easy ban product. Is any sort of, you just pipe up and tell me when anything's like shocking to me, Bisa. So yep, TF2Easy ban product, and then Witness ban Metalworks. They go on to then pick Snakewater, that's Witness Gaming, and then Sunshine will be the pick for TF2Easy. Anything to say so far?
Yeah, TF2Easy didn't do too hard on Sunshine in the semi-final against League of Shadows, so that maybe that's a bit surprising. I guess they just figured that was a one-off fluke, and they never really were in danger. Like, they were never behind or anything really bad like that, where it was dangerous for them, but it still didn't look very pretty. So that's the only surprise I've seen so far.
All right, and going on with the picks and bans, the picks continue with Witness Gaming EU picking Gullywash. That team with Silentes on it, picking Gullywash. Nothing shocking so far. And finally, there will be a pick from TF2Easy picking process, and the granary will be the decider. Now, who do you feel like, hearing all these choices and bans and whatnot, who's won out here? Who feels like they've got the bit of an edge?
I don't think any team has an edge in this. I'm sorry. It really doesn't occur. Like, these are pretty standard maps, and like they're pretty different. I feel like Gullywash probably does favor Witness quite a bit, but everything else, I feel like it's just gonna come down to which scouts are on. And yeah, Thomas tends to be an absolute beast. That was like the one constant in all the logs that I looked up, was Thomas just has like about 30 frags in every one of them. It's a constant. So TF2 they need to really shut him down if they want to have a chance in this. And these are good scout maps, but all maps are good scout maps. So not too much. I kind of just want to know. Maybe we should even bring in Bomb and Lucky to get some predictions in as well. But what are your predictions here, TurboTabs?
Ooh, I never get to answer many questions. It's very, very easy to just go with the two head power superstars on that Witness Gaming roster. I mean, like, when you combine those two players from last season, and their minds, and just slapping in the roster, how can it fail? But yeah, I'm still gonna go with it. I'm still gonna go with my head rather than my heart, because I feel like, but I think we're gonna be shocked on maps. I think they're gonna do the whole switcheroo where you think, oh, they're supposed to take this map, but they'll be the other way round here, because especially that first like pick of Snakewater and that switch around for Sunshine, I don't really have faith in those two teams on those both maps. But let's not think about what I think. Let's think what our casters think, because we will throw it on over to them, and then shortly we will be going live with your grand final. It's a bye from us, so good luck, guys, and enjoy the cast.
Thank you very much, Beta and TurboTabs. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the grand final of ETF2L Season 42. I'm, of course, joined by Bumfreeze. What are you making of some of the comments that were made by Beta and Turbo in that panel?
Oh, God, I'm excited for this one. Beta's absolutely right when he says this is the bookend of so many storylines that have been a long time coming. Like, these two teams have been the top of EU for years at this point, but only at the start of 2022 was when we started seeing them actually play seasons together. They always just managed to miss each other out while they were certain players taking breaks, etc. And obviously, This is the pre-LAN season coming up for our first LAN in 3 years. Really, everything does rest on this one. Who's going to be the best team in Europe coming into that to take on Froyotech? This is a very exciting match.
It is indeed. I mean, I'm super stoked for Insomnia going into this. I mean, you're going to be seeing like all of these maps getting played. Froyo are going to be watching from the sidelines. They're going to analyze these demos. They're going to go through them. They're going to see which players are doing which. We have got both teams ready, so we've got a quick prediction. Bum, who's going to take this first map on Snakewater?
Well, first map, I'm going to believe in Witness. It is their pick after all, and I think they can convert it.
Yeah, indeed. Witness Gaming did look pretty confident. But I'm going to throw my toys in the TF2Easy basket as we are now into mid. Dome is going to be slinging some early stickies across, getting there a little bit before Nas. But Nas with a very nice sticky to lead things off. Landing some good damage on Dome and needs to wait for some heals. But both teams, looks like Josh is bombing in very early. And he's going to be the first to fall. They go for a follow-up bomb to Domo. Don't find it. Ixie and Solenta is going to drop. But it looks like Nasboy does go down in the end, but we've got players scattered all over the place. Witness Gaming going for this very defensive mid after Seeds died at the start of this mid fight, but they're managing to clear out players. Gazzy is in, but he's finished off. And TF2Easy going to wipe on this first mid.
Yeah, just a little bit of a mistimed second bomb. Josh was way across the point. Nubby's only just coming out of his kitchen at that point. They can clear up those soldiers pretty much one by one as if it was 2 solo sacks instead of the double bombs. So just a bit of a mistiming there. Seeds also going down very early in that mid-fight, whereas Mula keeps it up the whole time, 100% advantage. Toe's going to be already working on capping second. Pappy's clearing the lobby out, and we will see this last push coming in. Gazzy has a sentry, but it's only a level 1 so far.
Uber comes in top right as they take it all the way in. Sentry Gun immediately taken down here by some lower-range spam rockets, but clear up on this right-hand side. They're going to sticky off this door. Bomb comes in with the banner. Nice air shot to Domo. He gets wrecked, and he's now in the dirt. 2 go down. The reflect onto Solentes. Gazzy up on that ever so famous Pyro, and Tomas gets picked off in the doorway. What a disastrous push from Witness Gaming. Get absolutely nothing done there.
Yeah, and Nasboy on a huge chase as well. Pops Mula up, gets the frag as well. This is securing a massive advantage for Seeds now. Pappy's the only one left alive, but he is just going to have to back up. They already know where he is. That was such a perfect bait from Nasboy on the last point. He left his stickies up so long, didn't let Tomas clear them, and the Witness were just finding no frags on the right-hand side. And now Nubby is bombing forwards onto a trap, doesn't die to it though, and Ixie on Sniper in the forward spawn is the real worry right now for TF2Easy. Pokes his head out just as the sack comes in from Sill, and they do manage to get a frag onto Nasboy from it. Ixie still peeking out the shutter. Look how scared they are. The positioning on mid, they are just trying to not peek that. They can't get anyone on the door quite yet, but Ixie does back spawn. It's good delay, but it's still a 50% ad for Seeds.
Yeah, they're going to retain this one. They do lose Nas, but they're fearless in this push forward. Josh gets a mega buff, goes all the way to Bats, and now they just have full control of this area. The soldier being on Bats just means that no one on this red side is going to be able to come in here. This ad is beginning to dwindle, and the Seeds is going to begin to know this. So Nubby's just going to go for a very early sack bomb, and all the way to the shutter. Does it kind of hit the rockets onto Ixie there with a very lovely sing, but doesn't manage to do anything at all. But it looks like now the bomb's coming in once again from another soldier, but Josh is going to have to jump all the way back out through lobby. In fact, does feed here, so 2 down, but they trade that out for Ixie in the end, which is actually a pretty good trade, because on Snakewater, notoriously hard to push out here. So Nas is very confident sitting up on his bats, knowing that nothing else is going to come from this, and Ixie's probably going to just take the time to build that sentry gun.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense there from Josh going for the second bomb. When you see they're taking that long to clean Nubby up and they've got all eyes on Nubby, you might as well send that second soldier in, see if they can get anything done. The timing was just a little bit off, unfortunately, and Mula was playing it as safe as possible, hadn't even left the spawn door after going to the resup by the time the second soldier came in, so no opportunity there. And now we do have this difficult hold going up. Josh is trying to bomb in, but the level 2 does exactly what it's supposed to do and gets both the soldiers denied. Tomas hitting a nice air headshot as well to finish up that kill, and now it's a 4v6. Toe taking an angle towards lower, decides to go back, get a bit of a buff. He does hit a nice headshot onto the scout, but the buff of the scout will undo that, and back to last it is as the spawners arrive.
Yeah, Toe actually did get spotted. Gazzy did the taunt trick down on the lower door, so he did the director's vision taunt. Could see him around the corner, so told his team not to peek it, so no one ends up really getting down there. And it looks like now we're just going to see more sacks. Tomas going onto the spy, just to spy check to see what they've got. He's going to realise that they still have nothing here, and I reckon we're going to see the same kind of play coming out here. But it looks like Josh and Nubby are trying to do that. One of them tanks the sentry gun while the other flies onto the medic strategy, which does kind of work. but it depends on what the other players hit in terms of hitting damage, hitting shots. You know, they do still have this demo man alive. As Nubby and Josh going in, one going higher than the other. They're going to both land on Moolah. The rockets come in and the force is done, as they do manage to get that Uber out of Moolah to go down for it, but they're going to be really unable to respond here with the sentry gun sniper combo that they've got. Can Tomas swing the shot is the answer, but it looks like it's going to be a no on this one, and they're going to just have to back up and get ready for a defense.
Yeah, very, very nice job with the sack. They actually jump off of that wall, so they go so high that the sentry loses tracking, and then by the time they're coming back down again, they've got enough momentum to just scare Moolah into the pop there. Any of those two rockets could sync up and be an instant drop. So 100% advantage. Ghazi confirms the sentry is still there. The engineer has backed off, so they are going to be able to just spam this sentry down before the push. And it does go down as the Uber comes in. The sniper is still in the spawn door. Morale plays the point a little bit, but the Uber is flashed off him. No kills yet, but they just stacked the point. Nubby was just tanking that point, and they try and drop onto it, but it's too little, too late.
Yeah, the cheeky little cap there from Morale, who just sits in the corner for a little bit with the beam on, and it baits some players in. They just get down, eat so much damage, and they're really unable to respond after that point, after going on the point. So a really lovely push there from TF2easy with a great sack attempt onto Moolah. They do get the force, and then they just roll it all into one gigantic push that wins. But now we're on to our next mid-fight here, and we're just seeing a repeat of what we saw last time. Naspo with some lovely stickers on the Domo. Early bot from Josh going deep in behind onto Sword. It just got players flooding across this point. Moolah is now isolated out in the open, absolutely nowhere. Seeds does get traded out for it though, so we're now in a DM fest. Morale going down. Ghazi's still on full HP, so he's just going to start battering players everywhere. Pappy goes down. Solentes on a slither of HP. Tomas down to 16 health himself, so we're going to see what he can do here, but it looks like he's going to start taking this 1v1. Nubby is back up in kitchen, lands a splash rocket onto Sill, jumps around the corner. Sill's just ducking everywhere, somehow still alive. Tomas eventually going down. But Solentes, he really wants to stay in this. He's going for an add Snakewater mid, and we're just going to see another mid fight ensue right now, Bumfreeze, as Seeds comes back in with the heals. Moolah's on the respawner, so everyone's back in the action. Josh is going to take some initiative here, going on to Solentes, goes in for a high bomb, whiffs it. Nubby gets
oh my god.
Solentes back into the floor. The arrow comes in from Seeds to keep Nubby alive. But this team of TF2easy, they're sat too far back to support that top left, and they do lose a player, but they do manage to trip for Solentes. Nubby going in for a bomb onto Moolah again. Doesn't manage to land that last rocket. A slither of health on Moolah, but the health is not there in forwards for Domo. But looks like the rest of TF2easy are going to run with their tails between their legs as Nashboy gets picked off and lower as well. So it's just chaos everywhere, and they're not stopping this train bomb. They're continuing on.
Yeah, they want to chase this as much as possible, force those players out to last to get second for free, and they do so successfully. Witness want to get this round equalized as soon as possible. They're even sacking into last while the sentry's not up. This is very proactive play. Smart idea from Pappy, but it doesn't look like it's going to work out. He does get cleaned up eventually on last, and Tomas has actually gone down elsewhere to Josh as well. So a 4v6, we could see some attempts to push out here from TF2easy. Nasboy's just poking his head in lobby at the moment, but it doesn't look like they're willing to commit too much.
Looks like they're just going to be chilling out, going for a bit of a stalemate here. Gaz is going to be running that sentry gun, of course. Snakewater, one of the hardest lasts to kind of break, you know. Once you get that sentry gun up, the dispenser up, it makes it super hard for soldiers to get in. TF2easy did show a bit of a textbook on how to deal with that one. Most teams in the lower portion of Prem that we noticed, or all the other teams just seem to go for this lower spam strategy. You just get two soldiers lower, spam onto the gun, go for your sack afterwards. But that strategy from TF2easy did show how effective it could be, but I wonder how many times we're going to see that. It's more like a one and done kind of gimmick to breaking this hole.
But as you're talking about the spam war, like you say, these soldiers basically have to peek to try and spam down the sentry gun, and that gives the defending soldiers a lot of spam damage as well. We've actually got two banners up on the field. Looks like battalions for both Nubby and Josh right now, so they're going to get two banner charges if Pappy and co give him the spam that he wants here on the lower door, and that's going to make trading, etc., a lot harder. Sil has managed to get through Nasboy's stickies. He's deep in on the right side, but the sentry gun, as always, covers all those doors. That's why it's so important to have on this last hold in particular. And Pappy's taken a hell of a lot of damage inside lobby as well, so they're going to back out second.
Yeah, only losing one there is fine. It's nigh impossible to get their counter sack out on second, which is why they have Morale just up on this sniper, just to see if he can get any heads. But if they get two picks, you're going to start opening up opportunities, but it's so hard to make sure you clear all the doors. The back cap threat on Snakewater is far too high, so not wanting to go for anything here. We're just seeing the resident sleeper mode of Snakewater that we usually see, just calm, collected, controlled gameplay from both sides so far. And they've actually decided they're going to go for this dispenser in front of the sentry gun strategy, which has actually been sort of more popularized, because what it can do is it blocks the rockets from actually hitting the base of the sentry. It just hits the dispenser instead, so you do defend your gun for a little bit longer, making this hold even harder to breach.
Yeah, and a micro adjustment they've made is that gun is actually even slightly further right than usual, so Pappy has to take a really wide angle if he wants to ever see the sentry from this angle in particular, although they could now see it from the big door side, but that's always going to have Nasboy's stickies locking it down, so it's even more tricky to take down this sentry than usual. There's 2 minutes 20 left on the round timer, obviously shorter round timer in play in EU as of this season, so they really need to make Ixie start going for some kind of play here. He's really the catalyst on the sniper. He wants to find this demo man frag, and that should speed things up if he manages to get it, but morale on the counter snipe, on the defense, Ixie's gonna win out this 1v1. Domo's also putting in some spam. Nasboy's actually dropped down onto the low ground. If they can get a scout through here, he can clear the stickies. Ixie's taking a much wider angle, and Domo actually does just walk through onto the sticks.
Now, that's a pick that you definitely want to find here. Also, I'd like to point out that Nubby does have his banner built, so he's going to be ready to go with this one if they want to make some counter push action happen. I mean, it's definitely now an opportunity for them. If Nubby gets that full buff, he's going to be on a ton of HP and effective HP from having that percentage damage reduction from popping that banner. So if they want to go for a counter sack, they can, but I think they're more than happy with the, as you mentioned, the round reset timer. They're just going to wait out this time and just get ready for the next mid, most likely.
Yeah.
They can hold this until the dawn of time. This is definitely going to be one of those Josh things, you know. This last hold and that last strat that they went for, they've definitely been researching Snakewater. They know what they need to do clinically to get a win on this map, it looks like.
Yeah, this is one of the downsides, I suppose, of the new config, is that if a team gets to like 90 seconds left, even with that demo pick they had, it's just not worth trying to get out on even Ubers if you can get all the way back to mid for free just by standing still for a minute. So 45 seconds on the clock. Toe is just going to take a bust in. Mula gets sent sky high, as does Domo. This Uber is wasted. He can't flash anyone. Domo is just trying. He doesn't get a bow in time. He does now get one, but Nasboy's stickied off his exit. They either need to jump out or get the rest of the team in, and it does not work that way. 100% Uber now as the banner comes out as well from one of the easy soldiers.
Yep,
But
they have an insurance
20
banner.
seconds.
Josh is now tooting his. He's just getting ready. He's just going to hold it on the low ground, wait for them to just fly in and see what they can do here. Caesar's a full Uber and they have a battalions. This is not happening, Bum. There is absolutely no way that they're going to be able to bust this hole. The clock is ticking down. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And we're going to another mid-fight Bum freeze. I think, you know, TF2Easy definitely got that classical hold going on. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, they've clearly got the hold down. It's a very, very tricky one to break, and Witness just seem to have no clue how to do it, whereas Easy already have busted through it once. Maybe if they just decide to reset this mid every single time, and hopefully they win out the mids, then they can convert the enemy's lasts while Witness cannot. They'll easily take this map, but there is still all to play for with 17 minutes left.
Indeed. Don't actually winning the sticky warfare this time, but once again, another aggressive mid from TF2Easy, some very coordinated bombs. Trying to trade out once again for Siege. They do find that kill, but Mula is also dead. Now we're into a 2v3 situation. Both scouts versus both scouts from the soldier. It looks like that TF2Easy are actually finding the damage here. They're going to clean up one, and they're going to go on to Ixie as well. 74 health to his name. He's going to be getting that small pack, running into lower, just to see if he can just try and drag some players around. Going for that 1v1 on mid now. He's dragging Josh away on the high ground. Josh with a nice rock up to the crate to finish that mid up for them. It's going to be an easy mid for TF2Easy.
Yeah, nicely done again, and always successful in finding the medics early on these mid-fights. It's really always coming down to 2 or 3 players left alive in a scrappy fight at the end, and Easy are taking those ones more often than not at this point, but it does seem like with so many frags happening on mid, it's going to be our first mid to second stalemate of the night. Neither team has Uber yet, and Snakewater is known for being one of those maps where when neither team has the Ubers up, dry pushing is a little bit easier. There's a lot of space to maneuver on grass, but it seems like tf2easy aren't going to be trying that. They're just going in for a true sack instead, and Nubby gets some rockets in. Mueller didn't actually have the Uber yet to even force, so under no pressure to M2 there.
He also got the pack, so he actually went pretty low there in that sack, so ending up surviving it is very, very fortunate for him. He did kind of back himself into a wall, wasn't in the best position in the world, trying to heal his flank players, but just going to be resetting here as he does find his Uber charge. They didn't try and go for anything else on their end, so just going to be holding here. But like you mentioned, space all on grass and lower, there's so many jump opportunities for them to try and make some stuff happen, but not going to opt for an off-class just yet. They're going to try a few more gimmicks that they've got up their sleeves. Could go for a window jump, could jump in on through grass, on saw. You've got so many options to make things happen on this second, but looks like they're just going to be poking and prodding, and maybe they're just going to wait for Witness Gaming to make a mistake also, which has been one thing that Josh has kind of been popularizing with tf2easy, where you're playing against these teams that want to be proactive, like Witness Gaming, very aggressive, where you just force them to make their own mistakes based off clock timer alone.
Yeah, I mean, though, here comes another sack from Nubby. In fact, he's already in, lands onto Mueller, pops him up into the air, but Mueller's got a nice surf away. What I was just about to say is, I'm surprised they're not doing something that Josh kind of started with the very first iteration of this roster, where they would jump someone in, and while everyone was looking at the jump, you just run a scout in from somewhere else, and the scout is so much harder for the medic to ignore than a soldier. Obviously, rockets can be surfed and dodged pretty easily, whereas a scout's bullets, not so. So Josh would use to get his Roma to sack, run Yeehor or something in through lower, and that was very successful back in the day when he tried that, and in comes another sack from Nubby once again, but yet again it's an unsupported solo, and this has been the third try with absolutely no cigar so far onto Mueller. The playbook is really running out for tf2easy. They've got to try something else.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned before with running the scout, and it was mainly popularized by, I think, Froyo playing on Metalworks. They would just run Arek in through that lower door while they bombed in through alley. So they had all players looking up. He was running in through lower and just runs up onto the med. You can do the exact same thing on Snakewater by running a scout through Africa in that lower area. So you can end up just getting onto Mueller from lower quite easily. So it is a strategy that they can try doing, but it doesn't look like they're willing to do it just yet. But they're down to 1 minute 52. So now's when you're going to see Nubby pull out the sniper class instead. And we've seen Nubby time and time again whip out some insane headshots. But what it's mainly going to do is force Witness Gaming to be in a bit more of a crazy position. They're all now hiding around corners, so the spam is now off these doors, which should now open up some opportunities for even them to push into grass with their entire team if they wanted to.
Yeah, I'm surprised they've gone for the sniper here rather than the banners that they've stuck so true to for the last couple of seasons. Maybe they just don't feel like this is a particularly good point for banners, but with the space you have on grass and a damage resistance to go with that, that would be a really nice repush opportunity off of basically anything. But instead, the sniper is their method of choice this time around. Nubby is just peeking grass time and time again, but seeing nothing. We could be seeing our second round reset back to back in a minute if nothing else happens here. Happy and Sil are just keeping Saw properly spammed. Nubby's in for a hero shot though. He surfs up into a corner, doesn't manage to get the shot off. That would have been an insane one.
That would have been kind of crazy, but it does kind of show what's been going on in this game so far, with Nubby going for these constant sacks, as Ixie and Tomas both dominating in the same frag onto Nubby, both scout players dominating that roaming soldier. It just shows you that that's all they've been doing. That's all they've had an opportunity for. Nubby is single-handedly sacrificing his lock for this game, but now we're just going to see the bust. They've only got 22 seconds left, so they're just going to be going for it now, just to see what they can try and do, launching their players in, trying to create space. Josh does manage to jump in, he gets in towards Cheese, and they're now going for an Uber trade here, as a last-ditch effort, as Cheese does get very low. The Uber Force just doesn't come out, and they only just use it now, running out onto these tf2easy players. But it looks like the Uber does get kited around. They do manage to pick up Josh on bats. Gazzy and Lower gets cleaned up as well. Round reset is there once more. Second round reset of the game, definitely a slow one, Bum.
Yeah, Cadus comes back for 1 week a couple of months ago. Suddenly everyone just stands still and doesn't play the game. Weird, huh?
Crazy. It's almost as if everyone's playing like 7 again, maybe. But we won't see them on land because they're gone. So we're just going to see TF2easy instead. So Maybe they're just pulling it out of the hand, but Cade is maybe having some words with Josh on the sidelines here. But looks like we've got another mid-fight happening, and it's going to be Domo Spence and Sticky's down onto Nasboy, but neither of them is really landing them up, but we're going to see double crunchy mid as both teams go flying in all over the place, and Seeds and Moolah somehow survive, but TF2Easy do not come out of this unscathed. They lose 3 players. Moolah eventually getting cleaned up though. Nice focus fire from the rest of TF2Easy to clean up that medic, but everyone dies on TF2Easy.
Oh, that was the perfect opportunity for Witness. Trading sides on the mid and ending up 6 for 3 is incredible, but managing to lose Moolah at the end is so difficult, and they managed to make it work. Like, Moolah going down there is such a saving grace for TF2Easy. This game could have been equalized almost instantly, but Moolah just losing it at the very end, not quite in the safest possible position, and now we do have even Ubers once again. This sentry gun going up from Ghazi, it's got its dispenser armor, as you mentioned, and we might see Witness try and go before the Ubers are up. They know that they can't bust this when it's even Ubers 100-100, so maybe they're just going to go when it's even Ubers and no Ubers in the equation yet. Thomas does look to be clearing the sticky, still in with a jump, but he looks unsupported. He's landing straight onto the medic, and he does manage to get it! Seeds has gone down. This is an opportunity now for Witness to recollect themselves on second, manage to equalize this game. The sentry's going to be staying up. They've got morale on Sniper as well. They are pulling out all the stops on the defense now. 100% Uber for Moolah.
I have to explain it. He heard Ghazi level up the sentry gun, and he bombed on the level up window. And
That
he
is
went
so
in
smart.
and got the force as the sentry gun was leveling up. That's insane that he managed to pull out. He was sat there counting engineer strikes on the gun. He could hear him leveling up the gun and goes on the last one. As the Uber comes in from Witness Gaming, running in, trying to bomb onto this right-hand side door. They've only got a scout shooting at the sentry gun, but eventually it does go down on the left-hand side as TF2Easy. As you've got Pappy bombing in towards the rest of the team. They do manage to get that Nasboy there, right in the corner, so no Sticky's on point. The point is able to be played here, but only 2 dead on each team. Nubby's going to be bombing to put the point, does do so, damage is down from Domo. Sticky's all over the place, the rest of the players trying to clean up here. Morale somehow still alive, dancing all over the point, and it is going to be a cap. Witness Gaming are going to equalise this one. Incredible stuff from them.
Yeah, much better than the last push attempt they had earlier. They do manage to... They take a while to kill the sentry, but then they do manage to all meet up on the left side around the truck. Both their players from the Uber moving across point and all their players coming in from the big door, just crunching everything to death on truck, and then managing to get on the cap. So nicely done from Witness. And now things are even Stevens with 8 minutes left.
So we've got high bombs coming in from both sides once again, landing onto Seeds. Seeds goes down so fast. Moolah also trading out here. So just 2 medics dead at the start of this mid. We are going to see 2 Witness Gaming players bite the dust as Solentes dropping here, and we're going to see all of TF2Easy just run into lower. They're going to cut off the escape for Witness Gaming, all of them kind of on low HP. Both teams scrambling to find health packs, cutting off the medics, as Josh is just going to waddle in towards mid and get immediately killed first off, so they're going to have that player as a disadvantage, but Thomas is holding this high ground against Nasboy, trying to just stop him from doing anything at all. Thomas bodies morale at top as well. Nasboy's overextend on the right-hand side, trying to take a 1v1 versus Ixie. He's not going to win that one. Ghazi cleans up Domo in the meantime. As Thomas gets the help back, Ghazi finds it onto Ixie. He's just got to go against Thomas, and Thomas is just going to run away here.
Toe's on the wrong side of the map, though. Both teams swapped sides, so Toe is actually in enemy territory right now. Seeds can hunt him down with Gaz. He's hiding up here on the balcony. Does eventually get spotted out, and the spawn isn't even in for Moolah yet. All this time is just slowly ticking up an advantage for Seeds, but with the amount of time they've spent with everyone hunting Thomas, there's no one left on mid, but the spawners just aren't here for Witness in time. This is going to be a slow but eventual mid-fight win for TF2Easy, and they've got a 30% advantage to boot.
Looks like they're going to probably be able to get second off of this one. They know the advantage is there. Moolah is able to count this one, but Thomas, he understands the game state. He knows that they're not going to be able to hold on to this second point without Uber being in play. So they're just going to give it up. Thomas is going to start building that sentry gun on last, and they're just going to go for a last time. Morale's going to get killed by the sentry gun, so that's further going to slow them down. But it's going to allow Solentes, more importantly, to go for the sack into Seeds. He does find it immediately. Oh my god, still on fire this game. Happy does get cleaned up in the meantime, but that's nothing, basically. They're going to have 2 scouts up for the side of Witness Gaming ready to go instead of this engineer. So they're definitely in tow, ready for this Uber charge to come out and make this push out happen.
Yeah, that was such an influential trap by Domo. He drops morale from the combo. Seeds has no scout with him. He doesn't want to walk through. He's just stood there eating the spam the whole time. By the time he does eventually walk through, he's on like 100 health, and it's much easier to force that out with just one rocket. Syl finds the timing, and Nubby now in with a counter sack, but Mula is stood inside spawn. He's taking no risks at all. Nothing is going to go wrong there for Witness, but they've pretty much given up their chance to push out. They are willing to take this last hold instead as the Ubers even up. It is 1-1, and when we've seen this scenario so far, Easy have been the ones able to break it, so we'll see if they can pull off some magic again, get that double sack in.
I wonder if the game plan from Mula is just going to be to wait until that dispenser is up and then just go sit inside the dispenser armor this time around. He'll definitely have better luck tanking one or two more rockets if he just sits inside of the armor. They've also opted for this banner as well on Solentes, so he's going to be holding on to that one. Pappy also on Battalion's backup. Both of these banners extremely strong. So it's like Josh also has decided he's going to pick up his banner, but like you mentioned there, Bum, they did lose out a 32-second advantage there. So they could have definitely had the opportunity to push out, but deciding they were going to wait for their spawners ended up being only 17 seconds left of their advantage. So they're just going to cling on to this last, which overall is going to be the more reliable play, and why make risks when you're in the grand final of Season 42?
Yep, Nasboy is spamming Domo back, but Pappy is here to back him up. Nubby's a tiny amount of health, but just manages to juke out those last bits of Pappy's splash until he gets his bow. So somehow manages to survive there, just bombing straight in onto the sentry. Does actually land a nice shot onto Tomas as well, but I don't know what the goal of that sack was. Maybe he assumed Mula would be stood like inside the sentry.
Yeah, if the goal was to get airshot by Solentes, mission accomplished. But it's like now tf2easy going to be sitting outside, just chilling out, waiting for this game to end by the looks of things. 4 minutes left on the server timer here, though, Bum, and only 2 minutes 42. So when it goes to our round reset, we might see the fastest mid-fight anyone has ever seen. And if it's resolved with one of the medics being alive, there is a chance that that team could just take the whole game. It's not a situation we have seen so far, but we're seeing the Gazzy and Nubby patented double spy play. This is pulling out all of the stops here to make this work. I hate to say it, but we have Yak strategy in the grand final.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they go for. It's actually been kind of popularized to just have one spy sap this sentry, and you sack while the sap is going on. Especially when Mula's in this position now, it's a very easy place to just get one rocket onto the Mula there. But Nubby just absolutely rolled a D20 and like not getting hit by the flames there. That was insane. Looks like Gazzy has been found. Maybe now they just assume there's no second spy, because like who would do Yak strat in the grand finals, right?
Exactly. Who would do this? I mean,
he's in for the uncloak. Domo's heard it.
Domo has headphones on this game, hits the taunt key as well. Nubby gets cleaned up there. They're not going to try the same thing again. But Gazzy has actually now opted for his patented pyro by the looks of things. I wonder if he's going to stick. I hope he sticks to it.
I doubt it. I mean, there's some places you can get away with pyro, but
he's committed to it. I don't know what to say, honestly, Bum. What? Why?
Well, I mean, it makes sense if Josh can get this banner up, but I don't think Josh is anywhere close to the banner at all. This could just be a trade and then heavy repush, which we haven't kind of seen teams do for a very long time, but it used to be pretty popular. We'll see what the plan is. They have traded in through lower. They just get nothing onto Mula. Tomas, in fact, on the defensive pyro, has reflected that entire Uber away, and it's just completely wasted. A miserable attempt from tf2easy. 100% ad now for Mula. Will Witness be the ones to try and go for this with 40 seconds left on the clock and a full advantage? Looks like no is the answer, especially with Gazzy up on heavy there on the second point. It would be a very unconventional push. I don't think any teams have got much practice on going to heavy pushes into second, but there is a last-ditch repush with the clock just about to run out. Nubby does go down. Domo on a sliver of health does manage to survive it, and it looks like tf2easy aren't going to be getting anything here, but as long as they don't wipe, the round should be resetting to mid.
Here comes Gazzy in through the left shot and runs away again. He's just getting spammed on the doorway. But looks like he's not got the beam with, and they're trying this last ditch attempt to just get into the slot. The round reset happens. It is going to be continuing to be the 1-1 scoreline. Now, Bum, we have the potential round win here. They can still technically do it. It's 1 minute on the clock here.
I mean, these rounds have been deathly aggressive on mid, but they just haven't been quick. Like, players have been losing their lives in the first seconds of mid, but then the scrappy fight that ensues has been going on for a while. We've even seen, like, double mid fights with all the respawners coming back in, so we will have to see teams speed up. Seeds has opted for the crits creep. Josh bombs deep in onto Domo, but he is just going to surf away and crater. All the rest of TF2easy are across the point. They are going to be picking up frags. Nasboy goes down in the end of it. Seeds actually, and Morale get found by Ixie flanking him from behind. Moolah going down is the saving grace. Gazzy manages to find it. And now it's 30 seconds left. It looks like we're going to be going to a golden cap on our very first map of the evening. 24 seconds, I just don't think it's long enough to do it.
This is going to be a long best of 5. I mean, that could have been great if Moolah had survived and also they were across the mid instead of trying to back out into their second. I think Witness Gaming gave up all hopes of winning this round when they started trying to retreat out onto second, but it looks like now we are going to a golden cap like you mentioned, but very, very solid performance from both teams on this first map, both showing themselves to be definitely contenders in this grand finals, and also both teams taking a very, very intelligent, intellectual approach to this map one.
Yeah, I mean, we could see more round resets in golden cap even, like, these teams have both had very, very, very low success rates so far in getting into last, and if we see more of that, we could even be going to the golden mid-fight rule after golden cap runs out. We get 15 minutes of golden cap, I believe, and then we just play a mid-fight for the whole map if there's no winner from there who caps last within that 15 minutes, so gonna be an interesting one.
That's just cursing it to say they were going to go to a golden mid. I mean, it's definitely possible. I mean, anything can happen in this grand final. It's definitely showing to be a good one so far. Both teams are looking on fire, and I don't know how I'm going to be able to predict the rest of the maps coming out of this one, because if we're going to base our predictions based off this first map for the next few maps, we're going to be stuck, Bum. I'm not sure what we're going to be able to do. But is there anything in particular you think should happen on these next mid fights, on this golden cap on the first mid, that TF2easy should do to change up that's going to allow Seeds to survive a goddamn mid fight?
Yeah, I mean, Seeds just has not been living, and the rest of his team has been doing so well. Maybe that's like a conscious choice in that they just try and get all the frags and they don't really care whether Seeds lives or dies. But at the end of it, you're always having to see some players throw their lives away on TF2easy for Moolah at the very end, whether or not they're living or dying at the end of the mid-fight. You know, Moolah will be getting sacked on because Seeds has just died pretty much early at the start of all of them, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, he's pretty much died on every single mid-fight. Moolah has sort of managed to slip away from some of them, but for the most part, he has also died. But I think
mean, Moolah lived one, and he died in a 6v3 at the very end of one, I believe, but the rest of them, TF2easy, have been so hard committed that they've been managing to get him too, I think.
Yeah, I think this game has all pivoted down to that very, very first round that we saw where Witness Gaming wipe TF2easy on the first mid-fight, and then they beef that last push where they had a full ad. If they manage to take that one, it will be 2-1 right now, but we're not in that situation. Both teams have readied up here, so we're now going into our golden cap.
Okay, immediately.
Which is Snakewater.
Immediately want to point out that Gazzy checked Mediguns and Witness didn't. They don't know that Seeds is on crits. He's kept the crits up for this mid.
Oh, this is going to be dangerous. If he manages to get this crits crew, it could be all over for Witness. But it looks like we're going to see high bombs. Another aggressive mid coming out. Dover's going to get bombed on, but Seeds is looking like he's going to run across the point once again. The heals are all the way across. He dives into Saw. It lands a splash off from Pappy there just to deny that crits crew from ever coming out. But once again, both scouts for Witness Gaming still alive as they go to Nubby and they get them all. Gazzy's the last one standing. He gets cleaned up. It's going to be a mid win for Witness Gaming. Ixie with the final pistol kill.
There's been a couple of these at the very end of mid-fights for TF2easy where they've had health advantage or player advantage, and they just haven't had that timing. They've managed to be in control of the round, theoretically, and one player has just managed to lose their life a little bit earlier than everyone else, and it just turns that team fight into a series of duels, and they just haven't been winning those out. Witness do eventually take this mid-fight. It's gonna be even. Tomas on the spy already. Seeds has gone back to regular Uber, from crits. So going to be dead even. Thomas already in behind into lobby.
Yeah, I think that it's kind of psycho mode on 5CP when you're on
Nobody's
defense.
getting
Looks like
juggled.
he's coming in. Toe's coming in. He hasn't spotted. Gets the backstab onto Seeds. He goes down. No, as Nobby feeds. So now they're going to have a two-player advantage. They're just going to be flooding in. Witness Gaming trying to get in. Solentes dies to a sticky trap, but that doesn't matter whatsoever when you have full Uberad here. Gazzy immediately panicking, hitting the engineer button. Oh god, what are we going to do, lads?
I mean, this is massive. 100% advantage. Toe looks to be staying on Spy anyway. I think he's just going to be going for something on the Spy. He's uncloaking again as the rest of the Uber is in. The Pyro is doing a bit of damage to the Uber. Toe does get taken down. Ixie as well. And this is a very easy last hold for TF2easy. I don't think going in there with the Spy was really the right call. Domo sacking onto point. Gazzy reflects him and follows up that kill. This has just been thrown away by Witness. They even had time. What I thought they were going to do is just let that Spy go in and die. Maybe even just kill Bind. They would have literally had time to respawn Toe and have a 6v6 last fight with normal classes. But that really did not work out well at all.
Yeah, the hyper-intelligent play from Thomas would have been as soon as he hits the backstab, just immediately kill Bind.
Yeah.
And then, like, you can respawn on Scout in fast enough time for you to be able to make the push happen, so...
Especially the fact that he's the pocket scout. They didn't have their role player in that Uber. Like, the Uber just did not get far, and the Gazzy Pyro denied all the rest. But speaking of Ubers, here they come into mid. Morale busts through. They look to be trying not to use this if possible. Sill has been spotted out on the high ground. The trap's been cleared by Morale as well. And it's a nice, clean mid take, unless Ixie has something to say about it in the shutter once again. He peeks out. Does he have the angle? No, not quite. Seeds hugging that wall. Very good job to not get the drop in there, but in the meantime, as they cleared everything so slowly, the Uber is up for Moolah. Josh sacks in, but he doesn't find anything. Nubby landing as well, but doesn't get a single rocket onto Moolah. There is a pipe just spammed out from Nasboy, but he loses his life for it. This is a 3-man sack for not even a force.
Yeah, this is terrible for TF2easy. That was so bad what they tried to do there. After Josh died, he was dead for quite a while before Nubby decided he was going to go in, so Nubby clearly not looking at the matchup, but also they're going to be running into second here. The forward spawners are going to come in as they take this trade, as they're going to have to just run onto grass here. This Uber is now so deep that escaping is going to be a huge problem for Moolah, as he's just getting sticky down and lower, surfed away, and he's out the door! Oh my god, they're all falling on TF2easy! They're getting pulverized in lower! Please, mercy, as morale goes down, Nubby's going to be bombing in as well desperately. It's a full white bomb!
And they're on enemy last. This is so desperate. 8 seconds. They might not even spawn in time. Here they come. They're rushing into last. The spawners aren't here. They're just not here. It's Witness to take Snakewater already. 1-0 finally. Off the back of that first map. No one even spawned in time. What a fight on second.
GG is the call from both teams. What a game one bum freeze on Snakewater. Incredible last push as well. They just run in. Because no one's alive, so that's what makes it incredible. Just so goddamn easy for them. That second fight, it looked so deep. They knew the forward spawners were coming, but they just go for it anyway. And they end up getting it. And my god, what great commitment there from Witness Gaming. They realize it's going badly. Moolah surfs out of lower, but then the rest of the team just commit on their overcommitment on grass as they try and get Moolah. So incredible stuff. But anything else you want to add before we throw it back to the panel?
No, I mean, the panel can take it away. That's one way to end the first map.
Oh, okay, well. 7, Yak, Putis. 3 words, Beat, I'd never expect to happen in a Season 42 grand final between Witness Gaming EU versus TF2easy. Was there anything else unexpected you saw throughout all that?
I mean, there were quite a lot of weird things about this match. I think both teams have a lot of nerves going on. It really feels like they're just trying not to make mistakes. And if you don't do anything, then you can't make a mistake, right? Right? That seems to be the mindset.
I feel like they were holding all of their doing power for that golden cap. And that golden cap was the silver bullet to both of their brains. But I feel like the one time where it looked so crazy it might just work, it actually pulled off for Witness Gaming EU, because that looked like the most egregious Uber in and try and get out from Moolah and I can't remember which scout it was now. I think it was Thomas I've ever seen, and it actually worked, and it worked beautifully. So much so that you actually saw a rare wipe out second, captor second, and then a captor last. You don't really see that much on Snakewater.
No, it's pretty rare, but sometimes when you're having trouble pushing last, that's actually your best bet. Just wipe them on second. But yeah, there's been so few actually committal fights in this game outside of the mids. The mids, by the way, have been super aggressive, extremely ball to the walls, just send in soldiers, bomb everything. Seas has been like dying in Saw, but you know, the enemy Saw on most mids. It's kind of crazy how aggressive the mids have been played, and then you just juxtapose that with the rest of the map where both teams are very passive and just do these monotonous soldier bombs in over and over again. And I was kind of surprised at how Witness Gaming was not doing quick counter sacks in there. We haven't really seen that, even though the bombs have been pretty predictable. I feel like Drac would have been like in on the medic.
This would have been his error.
Yeah, right. So yeah, both teams could definitely shore up some weaknesses. They did mix it up quite a bit with some spy and double spy and heavy and stuff. So there was some different kind of strategies being employed, but it took a long time, and it tended just to mitigate risk overall. And I really think TF2Easy was just hoping that they could just hold on to that 1-0 lead and just like wheedle Witness Gaming into just pushing over and over again in bad situations. But as soon as they lost that first round that they lost, then that strategy was no longer good to go. And they tended to lose mids, even though if it wasn't by much. But Witness Gaming are very good when they win mid fights.
Now, going into my next point, I wanted to talk about the most valued player, or I guess you could say throughout all that. And in my opinion, it was just the round reset. If I could go outside of the box here, there was like 3 round resets, and I think it kind of dictated the entire game. You know, you talked about these unorthodox strats and all this, but we saw some times where I think both teams were more than happy to just let the round reset and go back to another mid and get things snowballing from there. Do you think we're going to keep seeing this trend throughout the entire grand final? Is it just very map specific?
It is map specific to some degree, but I also think that, yeah, this is something we're going to see again, because it's not like Sunshine is a lot better to push out of. You know, like Gullywash, you probably push out of that, but they did leave. I think Witness Gaming at some point left an 80% Uber advantage and like a man advantage as well on the table, and they just didn't push on it. It was very weird. I kind of feel like in the middle of the season where you don't care so much, then you'd probably just push on that, whereas now it's the grand finals and they're all nervous and they don't want to screw it up, so might as well just do the mathematically correct thing. So it could also just be that it's the whole round reset timer thing where you only really see the consequence of it in the big games where everything's on the line.
Well, speaking of big games, we are heading our big game right over to our second map, our part 2 of the possible part 5 series of these two teams. It's going to be Sunshine, the pick of TF2Easy, and they really pushed them to the wall there on their Snakewater map. Surely they're feeling pretty good going into their own map pick, beta.
Yeah, you think so. They didn't have the best showing in the semifinals, but they must really like this map, and that's why they keep on picking it. And hey, you gotta just pick what you're comfortable with, even if you don't always have like the pretty stuff results where you just roll people. But I can definitely respect that, and I kind of feel like TF2Easy are going to come back into this, but I'm really hoping to see some quicker like round resets. I'm hoping to see maybe some strats where you actually try to preserve your medic a little bit more. Like there's been a lot of success from both of the soldier combos that just bomb onto the medic and get him down extremely easily, not even just in mid-fight, just in general.
All right, I'm going to have to stop you right there, Beaters. We have to throw it back over to our casters. We're going to be starting shortly. Let's go over to our Rays of Sunshine, Bum and Lucky to continue our casting of this grand final.
Thanks, Dad. Anyway, welcome back, Bum. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, and I've got a lot to quickly say about Sunshine, because this is a map that TF2Easy have been picking throughout playoffs. They picked it last week against Flick's team, and they didn't do so hot. It seemed like a very, very difficult game for them to get over the line. So I was wondering, why have they picked it again? So I did some looking up of stats, and they won that game last week 2-1. That one round that they lost last week to Flick is the one round that they've lost in Sunshine since the start of the year. So they've had 35 rounds, they've won 34 of them, and only lost one. So they are pretty dominant on this map, and hopefully we don't see the mistakes they were making last week as we do get into this first map. Josh in with a huge bomb already, massive 100 onto Mula, he's dead already. Sil bombing in does get it back onto Seeds. Both teams now swapped sides, there's very low health all around and no medics to get them back up. 5v4 in favor of tf2easy. Nubby also has the high ground. He does pick up a frag onto Ixie. Pappy bombing in from the flank. Does take down Josh, though. Both teams just around the enemy cafe, waiting for those packs to come up.
Yeah, every player went for the same pack, though, so they're going to just kind of milling around on this mid, but just seeing another scrappy mid-fight basically take place. But Witness Gaming, Pappy with a very, very nice read onto that scout. Bombs around Domo, though, he's going to get ran out here and isolated. Nasboy also going down. Pappy is actually just waiting in flowers. He could get caught out here by a player, but Seeds is going to just be waiting around on second, not getting those heals forward to the rest of his team. So Mula does the complete opposite to that, runs into mid, supports his team, and they end up keeping this mid to themselves. And also Mula with a sizable advantage thanks to that play.
Yep, already the bomb coming through from Pappy, but Morale is there to clean that one up. There's another sack coming in from Sil, lands all the way onto Josh, but just manages to live, and that is 2 soldiers down. Nubby's already counter-sacked, but he's not found anything. No Ubers in the equation yet, but it could come up for Mula during the course of this push. They want to get onto him fast or force everyone out quickly. TF2easy, they have managed to get control of the ground, but the Uber will be coming up. It's 90% for Mula. If he has a position, they could just take this forwards onto Seeds, but the spam is so good, they've managed to get him out there.
Ooh, but they have managed to get the peel really nicely, though. So Mula's managed to move back, but the health was so good on Witness Gaming from him sitting forwards with the heals that they're able to take the rest of the fight. They even killed Josh with it, so now they've got one player advantage to use here. If they want to go for a sack, looks like Pappy is getting buffed and moving towards Cafe. They're starting to buff up Sil. There's some kind of high bomb here. It looks like they are just going to be going for the sack from Flowers. Hits the high bomb, going around the corner, and he has kind of beefed it and gone to lower instead. So he's going to be milling about now in lower, which is kind of good, as Pappy is pressuring from afar, but looks like they do manage to kill off Silentes in the end with Josh on the respawner. So he's going to just be coming back into the fray, and we're going to see what kind of counter attempt they want to go for on tier 2 easy.
Well, we might see Sil spawn on Banner. It'll be interesting to see. Witness have been trying to add it into their repertoire since TF2easy have been pretty successful with it against them. So maybe Witness will turn to the dark side, bring out a battalions on Sil as he spawns. Let me just see over here. No, looks like it doesn't.
No banners in play. I think a banner is pretty hard to run actually on Sunshine in the current way that the map is played. I know that earlier on when the map came in, we had, Shadowburn popularizing the conch. I think he was the first notable soldier to ever use a banner on this map, and then kind of ended up becoming a little bit more meta as time went on, but fell out of popularity when people started doing these longer, drawn-out fights on this map rather than just throwing themselves at a wall every single time. And spam angles of soldier are pretty hard to come across in this map in comparison to the previous maps we had, like Snakewater and Gullywash, where everything just seems to be kind of, you have to play on the floor, and the high ground is very, very thin to play on Sunshine.
Yeah, that was also kind of when you didn't run Conch because you're... Oh, Pappy's in with a sack. He does just get onto Seeds, but has no rockets loaded. Domo's actually been caught here. Oh no, that's terrible by Domo. He's just overextended in choke whilst the sack is coming in. Nubby manages to pop him around the corner so he has no escape, and now a 4v6 fight. Witness might want to try and use here to delay in time for their spawners. They will be getting the forwards, and they're up in 3, so Mula's taking a heavy amount of spam. He's not healing anyone, in fact. Witness just have to get out here. Yeah,
this was a leave a while ago. Like, they should have left very, very much earlier than that, but they stayed too long. I know that Tomas is definitely one of these players that likes to take Uber trades whenever he possibly can, so tries to go for that trade. It doesn't end up being in the right position. Domo getting a trap kill there as well as Josh goes in for a very, very early sack, so I can finish talking about this apparently. But with that, trying to go for a trade, you can't really take it when you're on Tetris, as Pappy's going in super deep onto Seeds, doesn't get the force. Seeds with a very, very nice surf, but down to 70 HP only, so it's not going to be enough to make that man use that Uber.
Yep, the stopping power of that scattergun is so strong. The first rocket's in, and Pappy's already lost all his momentum in the air, just penciling downwards. Nice job from Morale on the deny there. And we'll see if tf2easy have any more luck trying to get into enemy second. Josh is peeking around Cafe, putting some spam in. There's sticks above him that he needs to be aware of. And in comes the sack from Nubby. Gets a much more successful bomb onto Mula. Oh, he's so lucky right now. Mula had the arrows out. If those rockets were both just a unit closer each, Mula's gone. But not quite. In fact, he definitely would have forced there if he was able to M2, but he had the arrows out, which means he's able to keep the Uber up by pure accident.
Did you see the ball as well that was hit by Gazzy?
Did he hit that?
It came flying in from Flowers and nearly clipped Mula, like right in the head.
That ball could have done it, especially at that range. It would have mini crit him.
The crit ball for like 20 damage, it definitely would have done it. So, unfortunately, the ball didn't land for tf2easy, but they have it at the end. It looks like Josh and Gazzy are going to be moving up in Flowers, which is really strange considering that, you know, you've got Nubby as the roamer, but I think he's just receiving a buff and choke. So it looks like the sack might be coming from choke.
I mean, if Nubby can do that again, his jumps are great. He flubs this one, but doesn't die to the trap that Domo has set there. If he can just get another opportunity like that, I think it's very likely he's going to be able to get Mula here.
We'll see what he can kind of pull out here. He might go for that fast bomb that you can do. You know, you jump all the way through and then you do the high bomb. Looks like he's going to go for it. In and around the corner, gets the first rocket off, can't find the second, just gets directed right in the face by...
Yeah, he
dies from
hit that uphill direct. It was a nice attempt. But no, in the end, unable to. And we'll see if anyone actually does something other than single sack tonight. We've just seen unsuccessful single sacks from both teams. Maybe the pressure's getting to their head. They've kind of forgotten all about the strat books that we've seen them using all throughout the season. They're just going for single sacks instead. Nubby in once again. This is the attempt. Oh no! Just under the feet of Mula. Doesn't manage to hit the airshot drop, but it was a nice attempt.
I think Mula's got the biggest nuts I've ever seen out of any mech. Like, holding on to these Ubers. Like, I mean, the first one wasn't on purpose. He had his bow out. But the second one, holding on to that one with the rockets coming at you while you're in the air, just knowing not to use that one and just taking that risk. You know, you when you're in that situation, suspended against the hitbox of the wall, and you know that the rocket is probably going to hit you and just holding it anyway, that is real cojones.
Pappy's died to a trap, so here we might see something else happen. It looks like Josh just distraction bomb, and Nubby in with the real one. Does manage to get onto Mula fully, but Josh here to follow up. The splash just isn't quite... Did the ball hit?
What? It was 8 health. Bum, please. We went to 5 health. We got the health of 5. Oh my god.
Well, with that double sack and Pappy respawning in time, actually, they are just looking to dry push mid from this. Witness already busting through. We will see a trade come out from tf2easy. Sill has gone very low on the flank, but the Uber is a tiny little bit better for Witness. Now both Ubers have run out. There is a player behind. ×2 on the back cap. That's going to be Nubby with the pain train. Morale goes down after the Uber. Everyone is flooding back though to try and deal with Nubby. It's good delay, but they've lost 3 for it from tf2easy.
Yeah, they're going to start heading back in towards mid here. That was very well read from tf2easy there. They just took that fight piece by piece, and then they killed off the players they needed to in the front line, and then they went back for Nubby. So they got the players that were weak in the front. Go back, get that Nubby frag, then with 3 picks here. Nubby's still on his respawner here, and Mula is having a slight ad, but looks like they've got this one player around. They're going to go for that pressure cooker style that we saw before. They're going to start just spamming from every doorway possible. And Salento's now going in for a high bomb. Go for that second towards Seas. Does land some nice splash rockets, but unable to really find anything else there. As Witness Game are going to run back in towards mid.
Yep, yet again, a single sack is all that comes of it. And we actually haven't seen anyone attempt anything from second into mid, really. We've not even seen counter sacks when people are throwing their lives in onto the lighthouse. So both teams are just fully willing to play defensive. They both seem to know that the enemy doesn't have much up their sleeve in terms of breaking Snakewater second, other than hoping their soldiers can eventually hit the shot. And it will be Sill's turn to try again any second now, unless... Looks like they might do something towards Choke. Toe's just cleaning traps here.
Yeah, looks like they might be going for some kind of sack idea. So Lente's in with the bomb, nice and low this time around, landing with some nice trajectory in towards Seeds, but unable to really find anything else. But a nice pipe from Domo. You can see what he's trying to get up to, but once again, nearly risks his life for it. If he gets caught there by Josh on the counter-offensive, then that is just awful, and you end up in the same position where you were before. But managing to stave off this offense here. But they're unable to really do anything else here because of that forward pressure that they had. They managed to deal enough damage to make it so a counter-attack was not something that was in the cards for TF2easy.
Well, yet again, we are in the same position. Looks like they are cleaning out Choke again, getting ready for Syl to go for a bomb from Choke. Getting buffed up now. In it comes once again. Lands on the wrong side of the lighthouse this time, and it's a very easy takedown for Gaz and Morale. These single sacks are just so telegraphed at this point. As soon as you see the soldier, you know what's coming, and all it takes is those scouts to chip him, and down he goes.
I'm not sure why Nubby doesn't go for this, you know, the rollout fast bomb that you can do through flowers, you know. I think Josh is desperately trying to build this banner, by the way, and that's all he's trying to do, really, and that's the whole premise of the hold that they're doing. But they could just go for this. I mean, on Sunshine, it's not so hard to take that fight when you're in a 5v6 after sacking on second. It's relatively decent, but Syl has decided that now he's going to go for a little bit of flavour, a little bit of that French spice, and he's gone oui baguette man.
Yep, on the cloak and dagger, so he's just recuperating his cloak in flower right now. And we might even see Syl kind of wait out by the water underneath second, get a soldier to sack onto seeds, because always the medics are going to back up into that corner, and if you time the uncloak right, Syl could have a very easy backstab off the back of that. I don't think he'll be able to get the backstab just by going in dry, because I think TF2easy are already very aware of a spy. Nubby's shooting rockets, there's some spy voice lines in chat, I believe, so They do know that it could be a possibility at the very least, whether or not someone bumped him. Looks like he's going for the stab on the flank. He actually just gets a Nubby pick, so maybe they'll be able to do something with this 5v6. Everyone is kind of gathering around Cafe for a push here from Witness. They do use it through. The Uber is going to be way later for TF2easy. They do finally pop it out, but they're kind of on the low ground after this Uber. They try and chase it, but they don't find much. Syl's backstab Josh in the backlines. And this is just letting all of TF2easy flood back in from the front. What is this?
Okay, Gazzy and Seeds have died to a sticky trap on the door, though. And the pistol kill from Solentes. He's on a 3k, and Nubby's going to die as well. Bum, it's going absolutely wild for Solentes on this push. I can't believe he's doing it. One absolute giga Chad coming into this last push. If Muna's got massive nuts, then Solentes is carrying his around the goddamn wheelbarrow. But looks like this last push is going to Solentes another stab, and Nova kills him with the pipes. First round is theirs.
Well, that's not the way you expect to see that first round going. Spy 4k in the end for Solentes. Finally, they decide, you know, you suck at soldier, we'll just put you on spy. Eventually does get the backstabs after that very first one on Nubby were just ridiculous. All of TF2easy were flooding back to look for Syl and the other player that was in behind, and the rest of Witness could just waltz in from the front and walked over them. There was huge damage. Onto the second mid-fight now, Nubby and Josh very fast onto Moolah, taking him down. Seeds is not far behind though as he falls as well. It's a 3v2 now, at the very end of this fight, and Ixie, last man standing under the point on the small pack, will be able to take down the Gazzy kill there. There's a doable amount of health on the other two players, but it's definitely going to be difficult for him.
Oh yes, go back in, sir. Oh, he doesn't go back in. That's really disappointing that he doesn't go back in now. I'm so confident in Ixie's ability to win these DM fights. He's such a good addition to this Witness Gaming roster. It's hard to believe he's only been on this roster for this one season. He meshes so well with the team. But also, TF2easy, they sent their two players back to pick up with the heals. Ixie does get killed off, but they're going to be recapping on this mid, and TF2easy are going to be unable to get in here. The Stickies were laid out in a carpet from Domo, spamming the pipes. They go for the sackle towards Seeds. He just gets juggled all the way around. Pappy's going to get shoved in the air, and he's going to die as well by the looks of things. That's Boy going down. Navi also training his life away as well for this mid fight, but players with very low health on both teams eventually getting killed up by their medics are going to be able to retake this mid on the side of TF2easy.
Crits as well for Seeds. Crits for Seeds, and I think Witness know about it. They're trying to stay close. Oh my god, that's exactly what they needed to do! Oh my goodness, what a heads-up call from tf2easy. The scout crits is massive. They take down Moolah. They knew Witness was staying close because Witness wanted to use that Uber into the crits, and then the crits would have been worthless against the invincible players. With just 3% left, they use it and get the double meat shot onto Moolah. Hugely well played for tf2easy. Now they want to be carrying this momentum forwards.
What a fantastic read there from tf2easy with that crits crew playing Seeds. Mega heads up to swap onto that. I mean, most of the Prem teams we haven't seen doing this, so pulling it out in a grand finals like this really does show you what you're worth on the medic class here, and Seed's really proven himself in this match, of course, as he has done in previous seasons gone by, but now you're in a situation where he is currently stuck on this crits crew. He had an opportunity to pick up the medigun, decides not to go with it, and now they're going for a demo man crits. It's going to be Nas with this crits, but they need to start committing their soldiers in before they make this crits happen. Make the space for the crits before you pop it out, otherwise it is just going to get wasted here. So they're looking to peek this door, the crits comes out, they land it onto Pappy, they find one, the rest of the team now commits in, as they're just flinging stickies all over the place, trying to find what they can, but they're really unable to find anything much. They do find 3, it's a 3-for-3 trade at the end of things, but there's 2 scouts and a medic versus a scout and a demo, and looks like now tf2easy are going to start running away from this mid, and they're going to start trying to go for a bit of a retake here on this mid with these dual scouts that they've got, which are far more powerful than the classes available on tf2easy.
The forward spawns are here, but the most they can hope for at this point is a force. They did some nice sticky spam onto Moolah. In fact, they are managing to just back Witness up into their own choke here, but eventually they know that Uber is up and it's dangerous. It could pop at any time, and we don't want Seeds to get caught. So they do manage to leave out to second. Seeds, as you mentioned, stuck on the crits Krieg. It's very much a one-trick pony. And now this Uber is basically a full ad unless they can drop some people beforehand with the crits. Out it comes, but no, the Uber is here. They've traded 1 player each, but the Uber is going so deep and there's just no room to get back in with only a crits Krieg.
Yeah, really, really good read there from Seeds, though. But it looks like Witness Gaming, they're starting to get aggressive in lobby. They're taking out all the space as well. They're moving in top right. They're actually going for a last push. Gazzy is up on the heavy, very cleverly, knowing that something's going to come out here. Thomas running directly onto the point. Lots of cap time comes down. Players go bombing in. Gazzy and Josh are going to die. It doesn't matter if Moolah dies. He's got not got an Uber to play with. Morale going down on the point as well. Nasboy is pretty much the only one in this fight. Bomb comes in to clear off this point. Doma just walks on top of it. It's going to be a 2-0. Incredibly well read there from the side of Witness Gaming to take that last push.
Yeah, Witness just in control so far on this map, and this is tf2easy's map pick. We were talking just at the start about how dominant they are on this map, and Witness haven't been all too good at it either throughout the regular season. They've been struggling against some of the weaker teams on this one, but at the end it doesn't seem to matter. Witness have managed to pick it up. They're 2-0 in the lead on this map so far.
It's looking pretty good for them, but they're once again going for the same mid-fight in a row. Moolah just running away from everyone. It doesn't matter who he heals, he just needs to live this mid-fight, and he does manage to duck around all of the projectiles. He's only just taken that first bit of damage on this mid-fight here, but Morale going to be running in through Flowers to link up with Nubby, who's on this mid, and Witness Gaming are deciding they're going to go for the bunker strategy. Just keep your meds safe, retain this Uber advantage out of this mid-fight. And tf2easy looking like they want to stay in and remain, pressure that cap, and not make it easy for Witness Gaming to just cower away in the corner and hide.
Yeah, Witness can't really make space all too easily without everyone just being able to flood onto Moolah here. So in fact, the spawn does come out, or sorry, the cap does come out to get the forward spawns, but no one's going to be able to be using them. Moolah still with the big advantage. tf2easy need to not fall into this trap of staying too close now just because they've had a little bit of success on mid. Seeds does back up. Pappy gets dropped to the trap, which is going to be a nice bit of delay. And in fact, they're flooding the flank while this happens. Ixie and Sil are just going to have to run out of the flank, and that basically entirely stops the push from coming in because now the Uber is up for Seeds.
Yeah, they had to wait for that one. I don't think you can make a push feasibly happen, so a really, really nice read from tf2easy to make that play happen, but going once again into a stalemate. There's 11 minutes left on the clock here, Bum, as well. We've got 4 minutes, 5 minutes even on this map timer, pretty much, so, or round timer for this. And Nubby's deciding he's going to go up on the spy. So he's already chosen his spice of life, and is going to be going for some kind of player here. He is disguised as an enemy scout, going to be going through this choke here. Oh, he's got to try. Oh, he sidesteps the rocket and does manage to get in, but now he's in a very... Oh,
what are the chances of Sil just shooting that? Oh! Pappy doesn't know. Ixie saw it though. Pappy just walked on a spy without even noticing it, and then Ixie did see the shimmer, gets the frag. But Witness now once again in control. They do just uber straight through here. They're taking it deep. Seeds milking this for as long as possible, but the flank has been bust as well. In the meantime, the uber is out now. 4 Seeds on the defense. They've cleaned up Happy, and that's all that's going to happen. Maybe they will re-push this mid now. It's a 5v6. Uber's out of the equation.
I can't believe he's still in his head. Like, in the chat, his positioning was all out of sync. But looks like tf2easy are going to be jumping in through Flowers here, and Domo is going to get caught on the low ground here, but he does manage to back out nicely, and they pick up Josh in return. Bomb comes in from Celentes from the side. A very nice opening for him, but Muller and Thomas have died in the meantime. So the combo of Witness Gaming is nowhere to be seen, and they need to salvage this now. As Gatti does go down, but Seeds is very comfortably sitting back in the choke as Morale is just desperately protecting his men from this soldier. Ixie, the last man standing. Celentes has only just collected a pack, so he can do something here. Going to be bombing in, but he's got a bomb from such a range. Just pop Seeds up in the air, but can't get the second rocket off.
Yep, and now it's 100% ad for Seeds, and we need to see Easy start winning some rounds. The game plan in the long run is pretty much dependent on them winning Sunshine. This is their map pick. It could be over in 3 maps if we don't see them start to get some rounds on the board right now. So they are going to be going in through lower lobby, avoids the trap entirely. They do still have a 60% advantage, and Toe on the heavy in forward spawn is going to back spawn now, so nothing to worry about. Here we go, standard last ad push. We'll see if they can convert it.
Yeah, going for the sentry on the left with the sniper behind it as the bomb comes in with the Uber. They destroy the gun immediately. This flank is now being pushed as well, so they are managing to wrap around. Cap time is down. 2 soldiers are out the spawn. The rest of the team of Witness Gaming needs to get out of this spawn door ASAP. Nobody goes in for the bomb. Josh on the low ground. Nobody bombing back and towards the point. So much cap time has come down, but they're unable to clean it up as the loose cannon just knocks them absolutely everywhere. Unable to get on top of this point here, but...
Oh, it was looking so perfect, but there is a chase onto Seeds. In fact, Ixie will take down Seeds at the very, very last second. 16-second spawn is going to be dreadful for tf2easy. And that last push looked so formulaic until the very, very end. Like, they do just manage to get Witness players onto point. They're actually popping this very, very early around the corner with no one here on mid to defend from it. I guess they're... I don't know, maybe it's, oh, we killed their med late, so it's a free Uber theory, but it's kind of just wasted. Now it's completely even.
I think that was maybe a miscommunication or a misread there. They were running in towards mid around a corner blindly and just using, so... I think that was we're not talking about whether we're on mid kind of thing, and it maybe wasn't communicated correctly there. That's kind of what it looked like, but I mean, that's kind of the mistakes you don't want to make in the grand finals in the Premiership division.
I mean, you definitely only use there if you think they're playing close and you can catch them, and there's... Yeah, I guess that's just a mistake, but either way, Witness lead by 2 rounds, and tf2easy need to get back into it. Like, there's 7 minutes 40. It's another Witness map pick up next. If they manage to take the 2-0 at the very start, it's going to be an incredibly difficult comeback for tf2easy. They need the reverse sweep in the next 3 maps, and I just don't think that's happening. So we do want to see some rounds start to come tf2easy's way, but we haven't even seen the team on second being proactive at all so far this game. They're going to prove that they can be if they want to be able to get the game moving right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've really got to pull some stoppers out here, and they are starting to get aggressive on the side of Witness Gaming. Looking like they don't want to slow down too much. The Lens is going in for a deep bomb. Does go on top of Seeds. He surfs in, but Seeds does hold on to that one. He was a millimeter away from firing that last rocket off as well. He had it reloaded and was about to fire, but Seeds there just holding on to it. Very well played from him. And they're going to start making their way in through Flowers, seeing what they can do here. The Uber trade seems to be the way of things as they go in with the trade. Seeds gets hilariously juggled by Flowers there, as Pappy does get picked up as the first kill of this entire event. And also, we're going to have players bombing in everywhere. Mula gets picked up as well. The trade has worked out for the side of tf2easy, and Celentes has opted for Puntis. I'm very confused by this, but it's a thing. So Ixie is also hiding out.
Toe is on the back cap.
Ixie's in, blocking that point. Toe, as you mentioned, on the back cap, but no one's going to be able to box
oh,
one.
No.
Celentes waddling in, having go for the bomb. He doesn't do it. It's just going to be basically a fall.
Bro, if Sill's on Soldier right there, it's over. Toe just gets that back cap because the Soldier can jump on point, but doesn't quite have the time to do so. Tomas also getting cleaned up on the backlines. A very long spawn for him. This is exactly what Easy needed now. They have a massive, massive Uber advantage. They have the 4v6 as well coming into last. They do just lose Nubby out there, but it's not going to matter very much. Scouts on the point already. Blocking is Celentes, but he's going to lose his life, and tf2easy are back in the game.
a series of throws there from Witness Gaming. You know, that use on mid to the sacks in second that didn't actually work out. The failing on position on the trade. You know, they didn't take any high ground when the trade was happening. And they ended up just getting crushed on the mid and losing all kinds of players. Solentes are going on the heavy, maybe losing it a little bit here, but maybe getting overconfident at the same time. But Witness Gaming coming into this new mid fight with a renewed sense of belief in their ability to win this mid. But we are going to see a bit of a clockwork mid here. Both soldiers going in very, very fast into the enemy medics here. Muller is stuck in the death corner. He's going to have to run around in front of Cafe, just trying to survive and dodge everyone. But it looks like Witness Gaming are doing so good. And Seeds here goes down. It's a full wipe. It's a 6-0.
That is incredible for Witness, and the fact that Muller manages to stay alive, in fact, for pretty much the first mid, I believe. Everyone's been instantly killing him so far. They're even going for the bin. They're just trying to spawn camp here, but they don't have anyone camping second yet. They need Ixie to get on it ASAP. They are just doing everything they can to stuff them in these spawn doors. There is a Pyro reflecting Pappy back, busting out of last. TF2easy, they are trying to get onto the point. The Uber is out, though. The Uber will clean up Nubby and Josh. Not really got anyone to block the point now as the Pyro and Scout try and get onto it the very last second, but that's going to be it. Witness take the 3-1. With 4 minutes left, we need to see back-to-back from Easy to even get us to Golden Cap.
Yeah, oh my god. What an incredible round from Witness Gaming. So dominant. After they get those the 6 kills on mid, they have 6 still alive for them. They're just going to run it all the way to their last. They don't care where you are. They're going to start spawn camping. And they had that plan from the get-go. They launched out of mid, and they basically rolled out to the enemy last as we got into the mid fight ensuing. Speaking of rollouts, as both soldiers bombing in, they want to get Domo as the prime target this time. They get Muller, and looks like they're going to get Domo afterwards, but no, he does manage to slip away and survive. But Seeds somehow still alive on the low ground, but players coming in. Solenta's going in for a high bomb. Is just going to take that high. Never mind, he's bombing to the enemy choke. Doesn't quite know where the enemies are, but TF2easy are now stuck on the wrong side of the fence. Thomas and Muller, though, they're going to have to get this forward spawn, and they will be behind the Uber advantage of Seeds. And this is a great time to pinch them. Seeds doesn't have it. He's at 15% away, and they need to do it now. They're running in. Players run everywhere. They get Seeds straight away, and the rest of TF2easy are going to crumble to dust.
Yeah, that's tragic. You basically rely on that double scout Uber there just to get out, and you want to do as much damage as you can on the way, but the main goal of the Uber is just getting to your own half of the mid when you're stuck in there. And Nubby has snuck behind, but he's been spotted out by Ixie already. It's the second mid in a row where TF2easy have all ended up underneath the point at the end of the mid fight. And even though they're getting the frags early, they just have no health at all at the very end of mid. Like Seeds and Josh last mid were in no man's land under the point. This mid, there was about 4 of them down there, all on double digits of health. It was terrible. There is a repush coming in from TF2easy. They know that the time's against them. This is their only chance to win the map, and it's gone terribly, terribly wrong.
Absolutely no, says Witness Gaming as Thomas is just destroying them. It's again a full wipe. TF2easy losing players all over the place here. Witness Gaming looking so dominant. Looks like they're going to be running in towards last. They have this full Uber available to them. Nobody has to bomb back to the spawn, but Thomas denies even that hope of running back to the spawn. And now they have this Uber out on last with their 3 players that they have currently in the fight. They're waiting for more players to get there. Playing this point, Gazzy's back on the Pyro again. Looks like they are going to manage to hold this one as Josh is down to super low HP, but the rest of Witness Gaming are now going to be rejoining the fray. Solentes going in for a bomb over the heads of these 2 players on the flank. He's somehow still alive, but Seeds with that arrow kill onto Sill just to clean that one up. But it is still an even Uber situation. You need to remember there's only 1 minute 58 remaining. I don't think it's going to be doable anymore.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, theoretically, if everyone AFK is on Witness, then maybe, but with 12 players on the server, I don't think it's going to be the case. It looks like we're taking a 2-0 advantage for Witness already in this best of 5. What was a 3-0 for TF2easy last season all seems to have crumbled away, and it could go the other way as we go into Witness's next map pick, which I believe is Gullywash.
Gazzy is bringing this Pyro to the yard, but it looks like they do want to try and purchase as much as they can. The Uber comes out, but Muller is just going to be retreating. He has got a hold of Thomas, but the surf in all the way from Morale. He's landed some shots, and he just gets 2 shots by Thomas. So the Uber now comes out from the red team. But Gazzy's there on the Pyro. It's going to be reflecting them all back into Flowers, so he's just desperately trying to defend his medic, but Seeds is alone on mid now, and Ixie's running at him. He wants him dead and in the respawn queue, and he's going to find that frag, and now it is now impossible. We're now in garbage time. No GG rule applied. Thank you, Warhair, for that one. And what an incredible game once again from Witness Gaming. Looking a lot stronger on this map than he did on Snakewater, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, despite winning Snakewater, I'd say that TF2Easy were looking better on it throughout the majority, but in this one, there's just been no answer from TF2Easy at all. Witness have been dominant throughout. There was a slow start on those second holds from both teams, but once the game gets moving, Witness proving that they are the better team here on Sunshine and taking us 2-0.
Yeah, it's going to be 4-1 as the final map score here. GG is the call from both teams. But yeah, it's very interesting to see the kind of development of Sunshine over the seasons. You know, kind of last season we saw this very NA centralized kind of style where for some reason Europe just keeps on stealing strategies from NA, where it ends up being, you know, they do this rotate around the mid until one player is caught out and then you just kind of rush it across the mid, to now both of these Prem teams just skipping that part about rushing a player and they just rush the whole team forwards instead. But incredible stuff. Anything you want to say before we pass it back?
Let's let Turbo take it away.
I don't know about you, Peter, but TF2 is just hilarious. It's just a hilarious game. There are so many moments in this game I wanted to talk about and just like revisit again. But I couldn't, I just ran out. I had to like pop my shoes off. There were just too many to count on two hands. I don't know. Was there anything that flew under the radar that you caught?
I think that my main takeaway from this is that Witness Gaming threw a bunch of curveballs at TF2Easy, and they weren't able to like deal with it at all. Like the spy plays, the different off-classing, the different like suicide waves in. Like Silence is again absolute MVP of this map, and just whenever there was any kind of weird situation, it seemed like Witness Gaming was just able to outplay TF2Easy. But what are some things you want to talk about?
I want to talk about TF2 Easy's luck. I feel like all these situations have come down to just like, you know, some butterfly effect, some random little piece of luck, and it just not seems to be on TF2 Easy's side, where like, I don't know, just like a stray little last second pick of things. It things the only thing I can really point out for TF2 Easy that went a bit their way when it was a bit pear-shaped was probably the crits on the scout. But other than that, it just felt like it just wasn't in the stars for them. And I mean, you've lost your map pick now, Peter. That was TF2 Easy's map pick. That's the one where if you pull out Lucky and Bum's like amazing timetable spreadsheet from across an Eon, that they have a 99% rate round win, it all goes out the window. And now, what do you think the morale's going to be like?
Yeah, it's probably pretty low at this point. I think they're a pretty moody bunch, you know, like. Not as in they're going to be moping, but they're probably going to be annoyed with the fact that they're losing these games, and they're pretty close. I know this last one, it's like, was it 4-1 or something? Yeah, like, but it was really like 2-1 until like they had to really get going and take a bunch of really big risks. So maybe we're at a time where it seems like there's this very ingrained pattern right now going on where you stabilize and then you send in your sack waves and then you do your off classes and that kind of stuff. You can make your plays with your banners and whatnot, all these pre-planned things. But what I would kind of like to see more of, and Gullywash is a great map for this, is to just have more pressure plays where you send in players behind, you send in like soldiers to sort of semi get in, but not maybe entirely. You have scouts being very aggressive without fully committing. Then at some point, there's just too much overwhelming pressure that you just end up having to pop your Uber in a bad situation or you lose a bunch of players. And that kind of pressure play has just basically not been utilized at all. Whenever a team has a small Uber ad, they just decide to sit on it. And, you know, we know Josh is capable of actually pushing off these small things. It used to be his thing, but they very much kind of turned away from that. So I would really love to see TF2Easy try to play some more of that kind of style.
Do you think it's what do you think invokes or such a kind of, I don't want to say like low effort, but just maybe a simplified sort of game strat? Is it like probably a decision they made early on as a team? Do these players now just not encapsulate that sort of nuance, or is it just the state of the game? Are these resets just the end all be all?
I think it mostly just has to be, like, if I had to guess, I'd say it's kind of like down to probably Seeds being like a much more passive medic in that kind of way. Like he likes the more passive play style, and maybe they're just kind of liking that. Could just be also Josh trying to just continuously try to innovate, and this is kind of where he's ended up at this point, right? Like he's never going to stop thinking about it. So currently, this is what he's arrived at. To I don't know, maybe we're just going to see some of the fastest iterations that we've ever seen in strategy, because they're kind of suffering right now, and the mid fights have really punished them so far. TF2Easy.
All right, Beta. Who's like an unstoppable force that needs to be dealt with? Like who you need to put like a target on the back here? Because I'm looking at some of the focus fire of TF2Easy on some of these mids, and it seems like the go-tos right now just seem to be Moolah or Domo, Moolah or Domo. But I don't know. I feel like maybe they get a bit of success rate out of Domo, but every time they go for that Moolah kid, you've seen him. He doesn't pop for anything. He doesn't, and he keeps to duck out and survive. He was the reason they won that golden cap. Is it? Is there a better guy to shoot at? Maybe.
I don't know about mids, but like Celentis is definitely the guy to kill, because he's making so many plays work where like probably it shouldn't have. It's been a pretty basic play pattern, but it has also been a fact that like Celentis has had a lot of success doing a pretty basic thing where he will just bomb in, maybe alone, maybe he'll have Poppy with him as well, and then he's just going to get a force or a kill or do a ton of damage and pull everyone back. So like I would focus Celentis down a lot, make sure that you don't give him any space whatsoever. And we've also seen that Domo can be picked off if he gets too aggressive. So that's definitely something to keep in mind here. And Gullywash tends to be a lot of choky, spammy situations where you're very close to one another. So if you step just a one step out of line, then you get punished instantly. And you can absolutely see Nasboy just trapping in some players, maybe Nubby jumping in there, getting some good bounce rockets where you just send them into you instead of jumping them out. And there's a lot of stuff you can do on this map that's also really good, where you can send a scout behind. I wouldn't mind seeing Gazi or Ixie, or maybe even Thomas run in behind, just cause a lot of havoc. And that way, you could also just apply some more pressure, because we haven't seen that a whole lot.
Now, I have to acknowledge it, Beta. It's a fun stat. It's a fun little meme that we all joke about, but Celentis on Gullywash, is it a meme, or is it actually got a ring of truth to it?
I mean, it would be pretty funny if he just all of a sudden had been so good, and now he's just going to be trash on his best map, right? Like, maybe Gullywash is just his worst map, and he's just been memeing us all. He's just kind of had us all bamboozled.
Yeah, some extreme look here. But does this guy do any particularly different on this map that you've noticed, or is it just like, just a lucky streak of win percentages? Is it just right up there with apparently the 99% sunshine stats?
I think it's just a good solid map, and he's a very good soldier. I haven't seen him do anything particularly interesting or different from everyone else. He just plays soldier really well. And Gullywash is a very good soldier map, so he does really well, and his team tends to win when he does well because he's playing well. Yeah, it's not very complicated to me. I haven't seen anything, no.
We're still waiting on these players to get ready here. I guess everyone's having a quick toilet poo and cigarette break. I mean, my mind was in orbit after some of the plays that happened in that game. I had to leave the room, so I don't know how some of these players feel. Or do you think they're actually pretty good at shrugging off all this tilt here, Beta?
I think they're going to be fine. I don't think they're going to be tilting too hard, but I could definitely see Nasboy tilting. He seems like the type.
You are correct. Oh, that is the most... Yeah, we are actually waiting on Nasboy as well. That is the most correct prediction of anything ever said tonight. Oh boy.
He's out in the bathroom punching a towel. I think that's what he's doing.
Oh boy. All right, Beta, give me some old-fashioned live predictions here. I mean, do you want it to go to 5 maps here? Do you want it to be a marathon race, or have you got something on tonight?
I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to another map, to be honest. I'm just too tired at this point. I need to go to work tomorrow. But I'm gonna say, I want TF2Easy to get back into this and we can get a 5-map final, but I'm kind of feeling that Witness Gaming's got this in the bag. Even if they don't win this map, then I think eventually they are going to be able to out-edge TF2Easy. And I didn't expect that going into this, but hey, here we are. Not completely unexpected. They won the week 1 matchup, and it looks like they still have an edge.
Here we are. Well, let's see if that edge is still mighty, as we have got Nasboy back in the server, so we'll probably be going live shortly. I will throw it over to Bum and Lucky a bit early on, because this could be the coup de grace, the very last map, so let's get them a nice healthy pre-game going into our cast. Take it away, boys.
Thank you very much, gents, for that lovely analyst section. Bum, welcome back to the casting panel. Anything that stands out for you outside of the Silentes Gullywash strategy?
Well, I mean, it's not much of a strategy. You just get a good soldier and they fist on Gullywash. But yes, that is definitely worth mentioning. And I'm gonna ask you, Lucky, do you think it's over?
Unequivocally, yes. I feel like when you get beaten down right in Team Fortress 2 and you lose 2 games in a row, when it comes to the third map, the mental reset needs to be there. Now, getting a mental reset in a game like this, where egos are on the line pretty much after what we had from last season, I mean, it's going to be hard for them to kind of mentally reset here. Josh is cracking out the machete, getting ready to, lop some fingers off or something. So I don't know what they're going to be able to do on TF2Easy to mentally reset here, but Witness Gaming are just so goddamn strong on this map that I don't know what you can do. Domo is just going to go lock and load or Iron Bombi and just kill everything if Silentes isn't.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something to be said for lock and load on this map. The speed at which you can just do 100 to 4 players coming through enemy big door is insane. And yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. I think Gullywash is one of the stronger maps for Witness, on a bad day. The fact that TF2Easy are already 2 maps down, there may be some mental going on in their camp, is going to make it even harder. And the fact that it's such an uphill struggle, you have to literally back-to-back all the rest of these 3 maps. And it starts with Gullywash, which is probably the hardest of the 3 for you to take. It's looking bad for TF2Easy, but I suppose you can spin that the other way. If they are able to do it on Gullywash, they're more than capable of doing it on Process and Granary as well. But that's for the long haul. We'll have to see if they can even take us there. We will be going live very shortly into the third map of our grand finals.
Yeah, this is a barrier that I don't know if they're going to be able to bust through, Bum. It's this, like you said, this is the mountain. This is Everest for them, I feel like, in this game. They need to climb over the carcasses of the previous teams that have fallen before them to get all the way to the top, and then they've got to climb all the way back down again at the same time and survive that as well to win this goddamn grand finals and claim that ever so coveted gold medal and the 600 euros that are on the line from the goodness of their hearts. But we are going ready here, Bum. What would you say is your prediction before we get going?
I'm gonna say that Witness are taking this one, and it's gonna be something like 4-1, I'd even say. I think this is a pretty dominant one for Witness.
We'll see what happens here. If TF2Easy are making their way in towards this mid here with a renewed sense of belief in their abilities to win in Team Fortress 2, but Witness Gaming's Domo is going to make it to mid a little bit earlier and lock off these players in Big Door from making it into the fight. So Lenses going to go in for a very, very, very early bomb. Has to get pushed all the way back, and Thomas is going to be the first one to fall down. Josh also going down here, but Nubby actually in behind the choke. And now they're going to go for this pincer maneuver. They're going to start moving forwards on Witness Gaming because it's the only play they have left. And Nubby just comes in, battering rams absolutely everyone into the floor. Pappy is going to jump up on this mid, onto the high ground. They desperately try and get in. They do get seeds. Silentes finds the bomb.
Again, this is like the one crucial thing that keeps happening to Easy across maps again and again. They just do not have this blob on seeds at the end of mid fights. Obviously, nice play from the soldiers of Witness to get onto him at the end so consistently, but seeds just seems to be... Oh, Domo gets picked up by a trap by Nasboy. He already had that set up on second. That's definitely going to give them a helping hand into second here, but they actually have Nubby on Spy already, as they're already trying to bust into second. Nubby could actually block off Muller's exit from up top if he gets a backstab up here. It's insane. Never mind, he's just pistoling down Ixie and Lobby instead. And now this isn't really the roster of 6 that you want to be rushing onto last with, but you have the frags. You pretty much have to do it. Domo's going to be putting up some traps. Tomas already on the heavy as well. Josh is going to fall. Morale also. Nubby on the point as the Spy does nothing. So it's even Ubers here on the last.
Yeah, just a 3-man push in towards last. They're just going to go for some kind of sack attempt. But this is Gullywash, so it's going to be relatively easy for them to try and make a push out happen. They're just going to stick their demo inside of Lobby, and then the rest of the team are just going to push top end. They're going to go for some kind of force attempt. Out on second, Pappy tries to go for a bomb, but eats a bunch of damage on the way up, tries to bait out those shots from those scouts, and does do so. So he's going to be going in, bomb around the corner, bumps into the soldier. They both air shot each other and now jump all the way back. So that's just going to be retreating as well. Nubby is in through main though, trying to get on top of a player if he can, but does retreat back out through lower. And we're just going to see everything just get traded off here, there, and everywhere. Tomas was the only casualty in that whole thing. Ixie's going to be up on his heavy, and now we've got Tomas up on the pyro as well. The defensive class that you'd like to see when holding Gullywash last.
Gazzy's already into lower. He's got Nubby there to back him up as well. There's some stickies on the front of the point to stop Witness re-pushing onto it. Ixie's actually stood on some right now, but they do get blown eventually. Gazzy just gets a face full of pyro, and he's unable to do much there. Nubby now turns that point play into a sack play, but that's completely wasted as well. We're in the exact same situation again. There's 3 down for TF2Easy. Josh does come up on the battalion's backup here on second, and Witness, they don't look eager to get out here onto second.
Yeah, they saw what happened before. TF2Easy went straight back to the same play, which is sit behind the point on second with your demo and scout and just spam and deny as much as you can onto people trying to go top, because they're never ever going to push through the shutter door. So just because the sticky's being laid there by Nas, so unable to really do anything here as Witness, and they couldn't make the read happen in time, so they're just going to retreat, go back to last, and allow the clock to just tick down a little bit more in their favour just to get that round reset. But Gat's going to be running up onto the point. There's a capstone comes down. It looks like Nubby's going to be going for the same thing. Good rock up to Tomas here, who's currently up on the pyro. Balls back onto the point. Does find the kill onto Tomas as well, so he's going to be trading out here. Nubby's going to be trying to retreat back out through river, and he does manage to jump away. And Josh still surviving here with his battalions as well. So he's going to be building that throughout all of this. And they're desperately trying to get onto this point. Nubby going for the bomb, just gets double air shot by Pappy. Coming down onto the point there. Solantis bombing into Naspo as well. Players are flying everywhere at the moment. And Josh getting chucked around on the low ground, so he's going to go down as well.
Yeah, a very worthwhile trade to take there. If you're Nubby, you get that soldier off the ring. It's a very, very nice opening for the rest of your team to be able to do some kind of plays onto the point. But eventually they do lose 2 soldiers for it. So this kind of long con of trying to play the banners gets completely reset off the back of that. Josh and Nubby both going down. So we'll see if they do keep trying to just put all eggs in one basket by playing this point over and over with Gaz and Nubby and lower, or whether they do want to eventually get this battalion's backup play up and running. It looks like they've actually switched off of it now. So Snubby and Gazzy once again getting into lower. Nasboy should be sticking the front of the point any second now. He just seems to be single-decking them though. There is a bit of point time being played by Gazzy, and he does just go down. Nubby's still waiting in lower, gonna come up for a timing here, but doesn't manage to get anything once again.
Yeah, absolutely obliterated coming in through lower. They're playing this perfectly on Witness Gaming for countering water. For those of you that don't know, when the enemy team are playing water, the best idea is just to sit a player on that rim. So either all the time they've got Tomas on the pyro on the rim, or they've got a soldier on the rim. But looks like we are going to see
We have
Tomas.
Gazzy pyro is the interesting thing. Tomas is checking classes, so he might know.
He knows.
Yeah, but like this is interesting. If you can get Gazzy under the point, the goal is to air blast all the red players off of it, and he runs onto a trap. Domo had that prepped and ready. He had it on the side entrance into river, and you can just watch it from main. Sees Gazzy go over that little ledge, and it's a free instant kill. So the last holds are pretty good tonight, huh? Or are the last pushes just bad?
I mean, with these two teams, you'd like to think both are pretty decent, but I mean, based off the number of defenses we've had versus the number of successful pushes we've had, we can definitely say that the holding is definitely the stronger one here. So Uber Trade going to be coming in. Scout gets like thrown into the point here, but they do manage to clean up that sentry gun, gets swapped off the class. They do have now Ixie on the heavy, but Seeds gets surfed in, jumps all the way back into Bats. A lovely bit of movement there. They're playing the point, nothing gets on it. So much cap time, they're desperately running for it, and Seeds is very weak. They're going to be retreating out main with Josh, but Josh looks like he does want to go in here. Does get spotted out by Solentes. Does have superior health though, so he's actually going to win that little trade there on Bats. While Seeds is just going to be returning to the rest of his team on the shutter door, ready to go. But Witness Gaming are just going to be sitting back on the last, and they're just going to go for this round's reset here.
Yep, Witness going to be taking it back to a mid. They know that they have much more chance if they can play another mid of just... Oh, in fact, it's overtime. A little quirk of the rule set. If you have cap time on point, you can go for another attempt, but they aren't going to be able to get anything from it. TF2easy throw it away eventually, and Witness Gaming going to be taking us back to mid.
Yeah, just in the mid-fight coming out here, Bum. I mean, these, I think that I've seen more round resets in this grand finals alone than I had the whole season.
No, yeah,
honest.
definitely. I think even the ones I haven't watched, there weren't round resets in, but
yeah,
tonight
exactly.
there's tons.
Yeah, so it looks like both teams, neither of them want to really give an edge to either team, so they have to go for this more defensive playstyle just to ensure round wins and just be more reliable. But it looks like one of the fight happening. Gazzy going down here. Josh goes for a bomb across the enemy big dog, but it isn't really going to be doing anything just while waiting there. So bombs out back up, and Nubby bombs in. Great damage has now been dealt by Nubby from that bomb out, so they're just going to start cleaning house on the rest of Witness Gaming. But it looks like they do manage to get Nasboy down here, and Nubby's going to go for a chase on the Moolah, just desperately jumping out, but Moolah landing some arrows, and he does manage to save himself with the assistance of Tomas there. So now Witness Gaming going to be attacking back onto this mid, and they're going to actually claim this mid fight despite that lovely bomb from Nubby.
Yeah, thankfully the bomb from Nubby has delayed Moolah's Uber for this long, and there's a double scout Uber. They need to chase so deep with it. Moolah's just holding S. This is terrible for TF2easy. They've thrown away the one advantage that they gained from this mid, and again, it's just sloppy plays at the end of the mid fight, like letting Nasboy die and then Nubby going on the chase without the rest of his team. Has just basically forced them into losing this mid-fight. Eventually, the Uber does come out from Witness Gaming, but they're going to be able to clean up morale here too. Nubby sniping from Big Door, has an angle.
Oh, Moolah! Oh, he's seen him. Okay, so Tomas has now called that the sniper is in play, but now they're getting surrounded here, and Nubby is going to go for a wide angle from underneath the point. Can he find the angle? He runs into lower his Moolah, and he's now just going to pin himself against the wall, and Nubby is desperately trying to find the shot. Can he swing it around? He's trying to find the angle. He swings around again. He yanks on Domo, and Moolah only just survives as Domo says, "Get down, Mr. President."
I mean, it's absolutely worth it. Tomo throws his life away, but keeping Moolah up is so much more just absolutely necessary at this point. Ixie was in behind for a bit, and that does actually allow them to get second as well. People chasing backwards. Sills even managed to sneak in behind. He's up onto Nasboy here. Might be able to pick off the demo before he even gets back to last, but no, he does escape onto the platform just in time, and it's even Ubers. We'll see how Witness's last push and Easy's last hold is.
See what they can do here. They do manage to get that sentry gun down early, but Gazzy up on this Pyro, he's been an absolute nuisance on this class. Definitely the best Pyro and Prem that we've ever seen, I think. But two players going down very early. Ixie and Tomas going to be falling here. And also Solenta is feeding actually in River. No one managed to get any lick of damage onto Seeds. So we're going to see if Witness Gaming are going to do the same thing that happened before. But it looks like Witness Gaming are actually just going to be running away back in towards mid here. They're not going to do the thing that TF2easy did before, which is sit back on second and just allow themselves to get spammed. They're just going to retreat for the safe play and hide back on mid.
Yeah, to kill Solentes there, Gazzy actually hit a reflect rocket jump, landed behind Sill, so he had no way out, and just mowed him down in River. Josh has managed to get through into elbow, but the sniper of Tomas is going to take him down. And now they look to take this sniper through Big Door, see if they can get an angle. Seeds is playing in the counter sniper position. They've put the spam down already. Pappy could get into lower now if he does want to, and it looks like he does. They're just taking the Uber forwards. They want to trade here in Big Door, but Moolah's too far away. They're not even going to be able to find the force, and that's 100% advantage thrown down the toilet instantly. Pappy is trying to make his way out, dies to the death of Nasboy, but it's completely worth it. You lose a soldier, you gain 100% ad, and you gain second for free. There's really not much in the way of a defense here for TF2easy.
Yeah, the key problems here are that they're going for
Nubby behind them!
Oh, okay, Nubby does get him behind. It does get the force though, which is great. As Moran... Oh no! What? Tomas! What a headshot to for Seeds. He gets that frag, gets an NS in chat for that one. And it looks like now they're going to be able to push forwards. No heals available for tf2easy, and basically going to be another ad push if they want to, but they're just going to be flooding in here before the busts even come out. Gazzy's now up on the pyro. He's hiding in the corner, swings around, starts spraying flames everywhere. They get to the Moolah, but they've not run away from the cap in the process, and Ixie just reads it perfectly wrong.
That shot from Toe is unbelievable. That just completely changes the course of the round. They get that force onto Moolah. It looks like they have a chance in the round. Nubby manages to maintain the fact that he's behind. And then the 2 headshots from Tomas. Beautiful little crack shot through the Drac angle on the top of Big Door, I suppose. Does manage to kill Seeds, and that is the first round for Witness. Very well played. Pappy's in with a massively fast bomb, doesn't manage to get the frag. Still underneath though, could bomb up and follow up on it, but there's in fact a counter sack from Josh going up. Enemy drop down just instantly gets obliterated. They've spotted Soentes behind now. They just need to all play together at the end of these mid fights, TF2easy, and they will be able to take one.
Yeah, Witness had a great read on that mid as well. They didn't see anyone going through drop down, so no one called it, so they just decided that they're going to leave, like straight away. They don't want to get pincered, so they're just going to play it safe, keep their medic alive, which is a very key thing to have on Gullywash. But now, they've got 2 players that are stuck in lobby, while the rest of the team at TF2easy are going to start flooding in, while Witness Gaming hold the back of the point here, but Pappy now on the respawn are going to be coming up through River, and Tomas trying to bust a choke, does get Josh, but does trade for an out in the end, and Nubby has managed to creep in behind, going for a bomb, but it's a very, very limp bomb, as he doesn't really get any space there in behind the medic, so we're just going to see another stalemate resume.
Yeah, Josh, very good job to manage to trade for Tomas there, otherwise they would have been in a dire 4v6 with Nubby probably would have died as well on the second backlines, but no, eventually it does all just even out. Soentes looks okay. He's just swapped onto.
Both teams just going to be posturing for a bit, just getting their health up and getting ready to do stuff. As we're just going to go for a very, very classic hold here. Apart from they've got Domo actually going to be singing in Big Door with the heals. They've also got Solentis up with the banner as well. He's going to be building that one out for the time being. So both teams are going to do stuff, but the trader's going to be coming in through choke here. So try to get them to use the Uber. They do actually get the force onto Moolah, so he's just going to be running back in towards the choke. As Domo's going to be the first one to fall actually. He's holding in Big Door on his own. The seat's going super low, but now is the chance now for TF2easy to make something happen. They have the position, and Moolah's now been forced into a corner, trying to fire arrows absolutely everywhere. And TF2easy managing to consolidate their position, but they're getting spammed down all over the place. On the floor, Nasboy gets picked off, morale goes down. It's going to be Josh and Seeds on the low ground. Seeds is going to hit a kill bind. Didn't take any damage from anyone, and Witness Gaming with a beautiful, beautiful hold and an overextension from TF2easy.
Yeah, just unfortunate at the end of that team fight there for TF2easy. It was very, very segmented and one by one. Nasboy, well, first Morale goes in, manages to get Silver, has to trade his life away for it. Then it's just Nasboy walking forwards. Josh just waddling throughout the entire time, not able to jump up and actually initiate with his team. So yeah, just one by one the dominoes fell, and Witness back in the driver's seat, 50% advantage once again. Nubby's sniping from up top, Seeds is holding up top. They are just waiting for this inevitable choke push. Pappy does bomb through, spots that Josh and Gazzy are both above, but Nubby actually drops him from the Uber. This is very, very nice now. Witness are kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place as Josh and Gazzy get the flank off. They are now combining to try and pick off the enemy flank, but it doesn't quite work out. Nasboy trying to follow up with some damage, but instead it's Witness who are just managing to farm all of these kills. TF2easy really throw it away there.
Yeah, TF2easy with some very, very poor positioning actually at the end. They send their flank in behind just to try and drag some players back, but ended up just feeding because the whole team just goes back to them. Then they end up with a 2-player advantage. Then with the forward pressure they have from that 2-player advantage, they just take it all the way here. But it looks like Dover's going to be running into last. Does pipe down morale. A little bit of mental damage has been dealt. Anything else would be questionable.
Well, there is an advantage now, both in terms of players and Uber, for TF2easy to try and get out here, but it looks like they're just playing it defensive. Nasboy's sticking up lobby as if he wants to go back to last, and yeah, that looks like it's what they're gonna do. Maybe they just want to play the safe bet, as per seems to be the meta, at least in tonight's game. Blue loses their 34-second Ubercharge advantage.
Yeah, I'm saying proceeds. You know, his logs are gonna look something like 5 minutes before using an Uber charge at this rate, so he's having a very, very sad time there, sat over there on the medic class. But building the sentry gun is TF2easy. They've definitely got time on the clock, you know. They've still got half the time available to them to make this game happen, but The round reset definitely going to be looming. That 5-minute timer just ticking down ever so slightly, but they've got plenty of time. There's only one round on the board so far, so it's still all to play for TF2Easy. They just need to take it step by step, and I think they're going to have something to go off of here. But I think Witness Gaming definitely going to be formulating a plan, and Pappy is just scouting on this window.
Josh back up on the battalions as well, of course, the sniper of Nubby in the forward spawn, but no one's really watching under the point right now. There's not stickies on it either. Ixie just clears the one sticky. He's playing the point times 2, but eventually he does bait the soldier back to it. Josh back in position, but Ixie's going to win the 1v1. There's no soldiers. The Engie and the Pyro drop onto the point, but they've managed to get one of those picks as well, and now they've managed to spam down the sentry. This is so dangerous. Witness do have Silentes under the point. Morale is thankfully going to be able to get that frag, and Pappy bombing in isn't going to do it either. But this is really kind of the last where you really, really want to have both of your soldiers up so that you can block that point if you need to. And TF2Easy do have Mula in a very tight spot here. Thomas is going to have to take the trade, but the juggling is great from TF2Easy. Seeds does pop off a lot later. Thomas is going to lose his life, but he's managed to buy enough time for Mula to get out.
Yeah, that was definitely a Thomas call there. We have 2 players left alive. It's the medic and the pocket scout. Let's take a trade. That is definitely what they wanted to go for on Witness Gaming. But, I mean, it doesn't end up working out for them the best way in the end. But, I mean, you end up in the same situation, though. You end up holding mid, and now you've just got some time to build Ubers. But just busting through the choke is TF2Easy. They're just trying to get in, but they're just eating so much damage on the way through. They just lose 2 players. Josh has just been hung out to dry in elbow, but do they know he's there?
I don't think they do, but now they certainly do. He does manage to pick up Sil, but that's not the kill he wants. You have to get the medic or bust there, and he does just go down at the end of it. This forward hold that Witness like to do, they put 2 soldiers that close to choke. Usually even they do it on a disadvantage so that they can force out the medic, or at least put a lot of damage into choke and delay, but this time they just do it on even Ubers, and they absolutely munch everyone as they come through. So much damage onto TF2Easy, and now they end up back on last. Ixie's going to lose his life trying to play around in water. Josh and Nubby bombing into river just to see if there's anything else in there that needs to be flushed out, but nope. And yeah, Witness maintain this 1-0 lead.
Yeah, I don't know why Witness aren't going for their tried and tested, layer some stickies up on the point, then go for your double soldier and 1 scout into water, then double soldier sack. That seems to has worked for them previously on Gullywash, but not favouring against TF2Easy. I don't know if it's because they're playing against them, but okay, Thomas is running in. Can he get Gaz? The answer is absolutely not. Nubby is there with the deny, but nice try there from Thomas, it has to be said. But now that they're both dead, we might see some off classes, who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll see a spy just because it's happened to work a couple of times for them. But other than that, I don't think there's many off classes you want to do into Gullywash last. It's really one where the main 6 can do quite a lot. Pappy and Nubby having a 1v1 on the riverside. You want to have this this cookie cutter setup to be able to play the point as many times as possible. Sil is finding a frag in lobby right now. Josh actually lags over the rocket. His ping hasn't been the best all night, and Sil probably would have collected that if Josh actually landed, but he just like freezes in midair.
Yeah, just floats over it like through the frames. It's fine. He's entering the matrix. But yeah, also we had Pappy running around outside, but this sniper in a great position. They managed to get so much space on the side of TF2Easy. Now is the time to sack a scout through lower and just peg it into last. Just get someone to die to the stickies, and then you just run your entire team in. And that looks like they might be trying to do that. Ixie's just poking around at those stickies, but TF2Easy with the read. They're going to be running back to last. They understand that is now on the cards. And the strategy that could be pulled out here is the whole team from Witness Gaming did rotate back through mid to end up where they are now. So going to be looking to try and peek this Thomas sniper in as and where they can. Morale is currently up on the spy clash, just seeing what else they've got, but won't find anything else now. Morale is going to go for a sniper of his own, and he's going to get fully buffed and ready to go. So on the Thomas cam, he's just going to be peeking around the corner, goes for the jump on the wall, gets shot, and is just going to be jumping back towards the medic for a bit more healing. He now is been heavily spotted in river, is going to try and rotate to a new angle.
Yeah, and morale is up on sniper this time. I mean, I like that it's not a soldier, but you do want to have a heavy or sentry or something to deny sacks on this last, because there is going to be a very easy double sack if they do choose to go for it. Witness Gaming onto onto Seeds, but it looks like the Pyro is going to be all that they rely on. Ghazi trying to keep the rockets at bay with his Reflect. Still looks like he's going to be hanging around in River, looking to clear these stickies maybe, or wait for someone to push him. Ghazi will take the trade.
He will take that trade. Solentes with some nice rockets though, because Ghazi ended up just eating them, so unable to just reflect
Neither
those
Ghazi
rockets.
or Sil were the ones that got their kill. So
Yeah. Just traded out for their teammates, you know, just the homie pan in the logs kind of thing, you know. But Ixie's actually currently in water. He's going to be taking the 1v1 versus Nubby, but I don't know how much offense there. Ghazi actually getting headshot here, so that's going to start opening up some stuff. No defensive off classes for them now. Like you mentioned, Ixie just running around that point. So much cap time, someone stand on it, for the love of God!
everyone's
So
going to be
much
sacking
cap
on this
time.
point now, and there's so much damage onto it as well. In fact, they sack onto Seeds, a wise decision. They do exactly what TF2easy weren't expecting them to do. Everyone has to leave Seeds, and that's a force easily, nicely played by Witness.
Yeah, very, very nicely played there from Witness with that force coming out of Mula. Now they're in a situation though where the banner has actually been popped, but it's just going to get kited. Josh just lets it go. And they're just able to just kite out this banner on sort of Witness Gaming. So they're going to start heading towards Big Door. That cap time is going to come in on second. So all that cap time that they got on last is just going to disappear
Oh my
into
God.
the wind. But Witness Gaming are on second.
It's a
and
six-man
TF2easy are on
blind.
mid. They're just going to go for a full team sack. We've got ×7 on the cap.
Oh, the block from Nubby!
Nubby gets it! Oh my God!
But it's not going to be enough. The cap comes through either way, and Last is going to get capped up by these two scouts. ×4 running through. 6 men went through Big Door, and the enemy 6 men went through Choke at the exact same time. They just fully wrap each other. And it's 2-0 for Witness. This very much could be GG. 7 minutes 30 left on the clock. Easy are going to have to step up the mid-fights. They're going to have to be converting these last pushes, but the last holds have been taking so long so far. It's going to have to be a very uphill battle from here.
It will be indeed. Witness Gaming here looking so good actually on Gullywash. So, going to be bombing in. Pappy's going for a very, very aggressive bomb this time around. Solentes going down, Ixie going down, Pappy going
That's
down.
it.
This is an immediate leave for Witness Gaming, losing 3 players in a few seconds. Josh is already on the chase, though, in behind on lobby. He's lagging all over the place, and Thomas denies him unequivocally. So Domo's going to be running out back through main.
They
and
could
they're
bin
gonna
here.
be getting-
Domo, catches
No, he
the
goes
stray
down.
sticky. Yes, they can bin here if they want to. They look to be just leaving 1 on last and capping up second regularly, though. And now they do have a tiny little advantage because Mula wasn't healing a bit, but thankfully for Witness, the one man they needed to
They're
keep
going.
alive did
They're
do
going,
so.
They use it, and they bomb on towards the sentry gun. They're going to try and take it down as fast as possible. Cap time is down. No one's there to defend it. They get suspended. And it's going to be a round here for TF2easy. I can't believe what I'm seeing here. They push on 10% ad, and they make it work.
Such a nice play, and they pin them in the spawn doors so perfectly. Everyone playing the point. The soldiers aren't even there in time to block, and it's a 1-minute round for TF2easy. This is the signs of life that could see them come back into this game, and if they win this map, then they'll definitely have the momentum coming into the next one. In comes a huge sky-high bomb from Josh. Sil has already been put down to a tiny bit of health under enemy drop down, and he will get cleaned up too, but Gaz is going down for it. It's a 4v5 now. Domo bombing across the point as well. Ixie on the low ground is going to be cleaning stuff up. There's so little health. And Mula is just on the opposite side to everyone, trying to get these bows in, but Seeds just doesn't have the presence with the rest of his players to find those ending frags. He does have the Uber though, and he's going to be taking it across point. They will be able to find Thomas here. Domo and Mula now caught between a rock and a hard place as the spawners come in. Domo, last one standing, and TF2easy get a very nice advantage, and they'll be able to reclaim mid.
Yeah, TF2easy, very nice stuff coming out from them there. I mean, you know, they just took the mid-fight really well. After Mula got denied from coming in through Big Door, he just ate so much damage from Naspo. Had to run back to get the small pack, and in all that time, they just dealt so much damage to the other players. They kind of rinsed them, picked them off one by one. Seeds was healing the whole time, knew that Mula wasn't in the fight, so they just take that ad into them, kill them off, and now they're just going to roll it all the way through this trip. But Josh and Morale way overextended. No Uber in play just yet, and they just get a little bit too overzealous punching through the choke right there.
I mean, I guess they're hoping they can't be punished by it too much because they'll have their Uber up, but still might be able to get a good sack here. In fact, they just are forced to use. They're trying to chase the frags. Nasboy does get one onto Domo, and the rest of them are now flooding into second. Nubby's trying to get through the choke here. but there's capping on mid. Ixie's going to get taken down. This is very scattered all across the map by both teams now. Sil comes up, drop down. He was hiding down there. Will be able to get a frag onto Josh. And now he's just behind them, threatening on mid. Gazzy's also gone deep and is fed in enemy lobby. This is so weird. The Uber's coming up for Witness now. And Sil's still behind them.
Silentes is just going to start pincering them, so they have to run back now for Silentes, and
Nubby's on
Morale's
last.
stuck in drop down as well. But Nubby in on last, like you mentioned, one time's on cap, but Domo's there to defend it. Now they know on the side of Tier 2 Easy that the Demo Man is not there for this push, so it's unlikely that they're going to have an Uber coming through this choke, because it's nigh impossible to get anything when you don't have a Demo on this Uber. But Pappy dives in and gets munched by the Nasboy stickies, and now this Uber is going to go in the bin, so Mulo's just going to hold on to it. They're going to pull off this push, and they're going to settle for a stalemate on second.
I mean, finally they're settling, but why have they even had to settle? Think about how this started. 50% advantage for TF2 Easy. They had about 85%. And instead, they just fed in before their Uber was up, and now they're back onto this even Uber scenario. They're trying to make sure the trade works out, but Nubby's just going to get dropped from it. Seed's running out into Big Door to try and salvage this, but no, it's just going to be a wipe off the back of this trade. Gazzy's the last one up. Seed's falling as well. Dreadful from TF2 Easy, just feeding into the 6-man Witness roster, who are all going to stay alive. They're even trying to bin on the forward spawn. They've got 2 soldiers here ready to stuff damage onto it.
Yeah, they're just going to be binning them right now. They're even going to be starting to pressure into us. It looks like Pappy's even building the escape plan. They're so aware of how much they need this Uber. If they get this round, it is just a nail in the coffin for this match. So we're going to see if they're going to be able to pull this one out of the bag. They have got Gazzy Pyro. They're getting aggressive in lobby.
No one's on last except Ixie. No one's on last except Ixie. He's going to be ×2 on the point. Everyone else is in lobby. It's 3-1.
Oh, there it is. The 3-1 comes in. Pretty bring. It's the base police, says Pappy in the chat with the chat bind. And unfortunately now, you've got 2 minutes for the side of TF2 Easy. Now, we did see that 1-minute round conversion in that previous round, but can they do it twice in a row, Bum? I mean, it's definitely hedging your bets at this point.
I mean, can they do it twice in a row? Can they win the Golden Cap? Can they win the next 2 maps back to back? It's insurmountable for TF2 Easy, and it's all on this mid. Josh and Nubby in with a huge bomb into enemy elbow. They're not going to be able to find what they needed. They do get Domo, but they lose 2 soldiers for it. The rest of TF2 Easy trying to walk across the point. Mula's just bunkering out in elbow here, and everyone will fall one by one. GG. Your season champions look like they're going to be Witness Gaming.
Yeah, definitely going to be Witness Gaming at this point. GG is probably going to be the call any second now. Only 1 minute 30 left on this clock, and Witness Gaming are barreling towards this gold medal with a 3-0 victory in the grand final in this best of 5. They really just proved they were the best team in Prem this entire season, just battering every team they came up against. Everyone was quivering in their boots versus this roster. There was absolutely nothing that could be done. And coming into a LAN season as well, where we've got Insomnia coming up next, Witness Gaming are looking damn good.
Yeah, Witness are definitely going to be happy with this one, taking it into LAN. Nubby's been spotted out on the spy in lobby as well. We'll see if we can make this a 4-1 just for the stats as they do run into last. The sentry gun is doing a lot of work keeping them at bay though. Gazzy and the gun do eventually go down. Nasboy still has 8 stickies on point that need to be dealt with. Nubby coming in from behind on the spy now, just taking a 1v1 with Mula, which Mula is going to win. So it looks like they won't be able to get the 4-1, but...
Yeah, Mula does manage to survive the push, and GG is the call. Domo puts it in, puts a see you at in chat. Gonna reignite this rivalry on LAN and see who can hit more projectiles then when Josh isn't lagging all over the place during this grand finals. Witness Gaming gonna pull out the final dual spy with 30 seconds remaining on this clock, and it's a Pappy spy with Silentes sniper.
Here we go. A yak to end the season. It's gotta be. It's the only way you could do it. 2 spies on the last. Toad's just gonna wait.
Do they know?
Oh, they know.
do know. They absolutely know. 12 seconds. It's going to be GG. That's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. 3-1 is the final scoreline as we tick down towards the end. Players disconnected from the server. It is a full GG. So, God, what a matchup. But Witness Gaming here, you do not face them on Gullywash. You don't ban Gullywash because you think you can counter it, and you just get absolutely slammed in this grand finals matchup, Bum.
Yeah, Witness taking it as they deserve to in 3 maps. It really did seem to have to be in the game plan of TF2 Easy to come out on top on the Sunshine there, but they just didn't manage it in the end. And we'll throw it over to TurboTabs and Beta, maybe we'll get some interviews in here after the fact as well.
Well, Beta. It looks like you don't have to rush off at all because it's a very nice, tidy 3-0 grand final. I don't think we've had one of these in a while.
No.
Last season.
Okay, it's embarrassing. Embarrassing. It all. All right,
Yeah,
but usually in the big sample pool of grand finals, you don't get too many of these. Let's just say.
Sure, TurboTabs.
I'm sure Bum will pull something else out now.
I'm pretty sure all the grand finals this season have been 3-0s, but
ouch. Okay.
yeah.
All right, let's just say it felt very decisive then. Let's just go with that. Fine.
It felt inevitable, kind of, that Witness Game was going to win. It felt very, like...
Open shut?
No, like, it felt very...
Anticlimactic?
Uncoordinated and, like, messy. That's kind of what I would take away from this.
I would take away it's one of the funniest grand finals, and I know for a fact that is not going to be contested. It was just pure. I couldn't write it, Peter. Some of the moments in all of this grand finals, and I feel like I would want to just revisit and just do it all over again. But we should probably have a look at some logs before we start bringing in some gamers in to start saying their excuses and their aspirations for LAN and all this jazz. So if you head on over to our little log page, let's see if we can decipher anything and maybe get some actual correct thesis here past my words.
I don't know. This was a lot more active game than what we saw on the other maps. It really did feel like it was way more hectic and dynamic going on. Fewer stalemates, more like just big fights taking place instead of just single sacks over and over. And you can kind of see that in Nobby all of a sudden having really nice stats, instead of him just sacking in over and over again. But you know what? I don't want to dwell on logs. Who cares? Let's just interview some people here. So we've got our runner-ups for the Prem season. We've got Seeds and more. So I'll get them down here.
All right, okay. Straight into the meat of it. Welcome, gamers. We are back with our interview section. We don't really get too many of these now, mainly at the end of these big climactic games. So we do welcome in Mo Alexi from TF2Easy as well as Seeds. And is that it? Have we got any other gamers in here? My eyes that bad? No, I just these are the only two gamers here. So all right, guys, welcome. Hard luck, all that jazz. How are we feeling, just generally?
Hey, I'm good. How are you, Turbo? That's what I want to know.
Oh, I mean, nobody asked me questions like this. I'm doing great. I'm doing good. It was a great game to watch. What was it like to play Seeds?
It was an interesting one. I think we didn't play our best, but I think the other team played really well.
Fair play. Oh no, okay. Now we get some. The champions have finally come back after popping the champagne, and they're starting to come in. We've even got some bonus gamers coming into real Royal Rumble here now. All right, we welcome in Thomas from Witness Gaming, and we also welcome in, who else have we got here? Gazzy came in as well. Pappy also came in. Oh, good, we're all in here now. I'm gonna throw you guys the same questions I threw Seeds and Kunu. How are we feeling? We'll start off with Gazzy.
Not bothered.
Copium.
Yeah, actually cope. Nah, but it's real though. Like, no, just completely neutral.
How about you, Pappy?
Yeah. I mean, the
Ian?
games are pretty boring. I'm sorry about Snakewater. That must have been really boring to watch. I mean, yeah, I guess it's nice to win again.
I don't know. I had a fun time. What about Thomas? Did Thomas have a fun time?
I mean, yeah, it was alright.
Wow, this is
The game's always slow in like officials, so
Yeah, is it because you were nervous, or is it just the way
Just
you
the
play?
round timer.
it's just a round timer. When things matter and it's not a scrim, you're playing to win. The round timer just makes you reset, basically.
now. I'm going to ask you guys. Different points in the game. Was there any sort of like, drop in stomachs? That sort of like butterfly worries, sweat going across, foreheads. Was there any key moments like that you guys can remember? I'll start off with you, Kunu.
No. I mean, we've played enough of these between, like, all 12 of us have played enough of these finals for that not to really be a thing anymore. Not to speak for everybody, but that's definitely the case for me.
How about you, Pappy? Was anybody feeling nervous on the side of Witness Gaming tonight?
Yeah, we're all screaming like monkeys when we play, pretty much. I think when it's a big game, most people get nervous, so it's pretty normal.
I was
I'm not,
pretty nervous.
I'm not a man of steel like Kunu, but it's fine.
I like it, Seeds. I like showing some vulnerability, some into the interview. I do. Thank you. I felt like this entire grand finals was pretty clowny. Like, it had a lot of moments that just had me laughing and barreling over and all this from the sidelines. Did it felt like that in game for you guys? Bayek, can you guys maybe tell me one by one, just like a happy, like a funny moment, or just a highlight for you from this long grand final?
The majority of our pre-game discussion was Nubby begging Josh to use the same loadout as him. Like, I have it on Shadowplay. It's literally 4 minutes of Nubby going, Josh, don't use a medal. Josh, do use a medal. Josh, use the polar bear.
How about inside of Witness Gaming? Was there any sort of highlights for you guys as a team?
I mean, I think it was quite funny when we like managed to find out they were on double spy, like purely by chance.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, we I don't know, we did a spy check and it said it was Nubby that was on spy, and then we killed Gaz first, so we kind of put like 2 and 2 together.
So that's why you knew. All right, I was kind of wondering why you kept looking.
It was very unlucky for them, but it's also like okay from us.
All right, guys, I'm going to get into the meat of it, which is obviously the ETF2L seasons usually take a backbench around this time period because everybody's looking at that LAN that's coming up. So can we get a confirmation from both teams that are you going to be coming to LAN, and what rosters and what players are going to be there or not going to be there?
Only if you're there, baby.
Oh, I'm always there, baby. All right, come on, Kuno, tell me, spill the beans. Are you going to be there? Is everybody going to be there from TF2Easy?
I think it'd be pretty funny if we booked everything and then after this we just cancelled. I think that would be a pretty funny troll.
Is Nubby going?
Yeah, Nubby's going.
Whew.
Cool.
That's cool. What about you, Pappy? Is everybody accounted for in Witness Gaming?
Yeah, apart from Moolah, it's just RNG. He needs a passport, and he's applied for a passport, and we'll see what happens.
Wait, he's done a Ron's?
No, he applied
but
like
he did it
5
before
weeks
it was
ago.
cool.
He was Ron's before Ron's was cool.
Yeah.
What who's the backup then if Mueller cannot be seen?
Who said anything about a backup?
Yeah, we don't have a backup.
We're playing with 5.
Now that is belief in your boy.
I hope he gets the passport. If not, I guess we just play with the Merc for the LAN, because, yeah, I don't know.
I have to pull TurboTabs back into
the famous TurboTabs medic, yeah. All right, okay. How much sort of effort, I guess, is a keyword I'm going to ask for you guys when you're going into these lands? Are you guys like, scrimming every day? You're going to be like hitting the replays all the time, or is this land just really going to be, you rock up and see how it goes?
What kind of a question's that?
Okay, but I want to know. Like sometimes, some teams don't really put tremendous. Like they don't even have the capacity. Sometimes some other commitments deem them that they can't throw in all the effort that they want to do.
We've been putting in a lot of effort.
With Froyo going, I'm pretty sure people will put in more effort than before, because if Froyo wasn't going, it would just be like 12 people playing each other for like the 50th time. So.
And I mean, I know it might seem obvious to you guys, but my mum watches these every now and then, and what she needs to know if Pappy's trying his hardest.
Yeah, we're playing 3 times a week because basically work and like other commitments. We can't play more. But yeah, we've watched some NA games and stuff. It's nice that Froyo are coming. I don't know if any of the NA people are watching, but please come again afterwards. It makes LAN way more fun. Yeah. I think probably everyone in EU feels like that. Like, I think Banny's not come since I-63, which was 2018, so 4 years, pretty long time.
Yeah, like I think Like, probably weren't you at Sweeland where you met Benny the last time, basically?
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Sweeland, Europe's finest.
Once he went to the actual right city.
Yeah, that was that's some bad memories. I got lost. I got lost in Sweden. Yeah, no, I think that's the last land. No, sorry, it's not. Is that the last land Banny went to in Europe?
It might have been.
I think it might be
No,
actually.
Isn't there one where he he did like a mixed team with Swift, didn't he?
I think that was the one before.
after one.
Yeah.
It all blurs together.
But
All
yeah,
right.
it's cool. It's cool they're coming.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out one more question for everybody in the group, one by one, and it's just going to be a nice little innocent one, and then we'll wrap up. So just tell me, like, who are you looking forward to seeing at LAN? Because it's been a long time, you know? There must be some people that you're like, ooh, it's going to be fun to see, like, this guy from the team, or maybe this other person you want to shout out. We'll go in alphabetical order, so we'll start off with technically Kunu, but, you know, more Alexi. Is anybody special out there? You're like, oh, can't wait to meet that lad at LAN.
Oh, there's no one that special because everybody's special.
Oh, what a very diplomatic answer. What about you, Gazzy?
I can't wait to see Asian.
Aren't we all? Pappy, how about you?
My teammates. It's been a long time, so it'll be nice. And yeah, just everyone from the scene. It's been way too long, so it's cool. LAN's finally happening.
Magical. Seeds, how about you?
Sorry, what was the question?
Who are you looking forward to seeing at LAN?
My teammates, mostly. It's been a long time since I've seen anyone from the community. I'm looking forward to seeing them again.
Hey, what the hell?
Magical. Okay, Thomas, last guy.
Nah, I'm not interested.
Fair play.
Oh, fuck
Okay.
you too.
All right, buddies. All right, guys. We are done. We are finished. We can breathe that sigh of relief because that was it. That was our grand final coverage of ETF2L Season 42. We can now finally end this and wrap it with a bow. We'll have a quick goodbye or maybe shout-outs and all this stuff like that now. We'll go through them as quickly as possible because I know you guys don't want to stay here for long. But again, a big shout-out to everybody here for joining me on the interview. All right. Okay. Kunu, any shout-outs before we go?
Shout out to team, everybody for playing. Obviously, shout out to Witness and well played. Shout out to you guys for the production and cast and all the lovely stuff. Welcome back, Cadis, as well. And shout out to Spaceman.
Gazzy.
Yeah, shout out to my team, shout out to the Germans, and yeah, shout out to the people that mixed against us when we needed scrims.
Magical. Pappy?
To my team, and also the same people that mix against us. It's normally pretty bad in the postseason because everyone stops scrimming. So all of those guys and the Frenchies, I guess, and Condog.
Oh, Seeds.
Manic and Storm.
Thomas?
No one.
Cool. All right. Beta, Bum, Lucky. You guys have any parting words before we shoot off?
Nope.
Absolutely. Shout out to JMaxchill for producing because he never gets any thanks for anything at this point. So thanks for producing, dude. You're a absolute godsend.
All right.
Yeah, and I want to shout out Dom Tom for planning everything the entire season. Again, unsung hero as always. And submit your demos to my demo call for ETF2L if you haven't done so already. I don't know when I'm going to make the video, but pretty soonish. So get it in there.
Excellent. I couldn't have said it better myself. We're going to shoot off now, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you all at LAN. Bye-bye now. Ta-ta. Oh, yeah. Shout out to Wheat, Dr. _ and everybody else who's done production this season, says Jake Max in the mumble. But that's me. Bye-bye now. TurboTabs.